Good evening and welcome to Poker Night Live, the live poker show that brings you Texas Hold'em poker 7 nights a week. Tonight is amateur night and we're learning how to play. We'll be watching live tournaments on the net as they're happening. Don't worry, we've put in a delay so our players can't see their opponent's cards, but we of course can see everybody's cards. It's a wonderful way to learn, and as usual we've brought a poker expert into the mix. Tonight, that's Tikay. Hello, Tikay. It's very nice to finally meet you, and it's our first time together tonight, isn't it?
I'm transfixed. I mean, I'm in love. It's just, this is just wonderful.
Ooh, doesn't he look dashing on the single shot in red?
Yeah, it's our first time together. But
It is.
But it's going to be good. We'll take our time.
We will do.
Everything will be cool.
It will. Well, what Tikay's job is tonight is to tell us what the guys and girls playing on the TV tables are doing right and what they are doing wrong. He is going to help us learn how to play the game. Now, if you have any questions or you don't understand anything at any point, then do please get in contact with us. We do like to hear from you, and you do make the show. How you can do that? Well, you can text. There's the text number 84222. Make sure you text the word poker and then your question. And of course, you can email. If you're unable to text, you can email us, poker@pokernightlive.co.uk. And please do check out the web when we hit a break, www.pokernightlive.co.uk. And there's some wonderful forums up on the web, isn't there, TK?
Excellent forum. I've used it several times. Enjoy it on there. Nice place.
We do, and they do really get into some big discussions about poker as well, which is lovely to read and get involved with.
I got on with them well. I got shouted at the first week, but I'm they're a bit more friendly towards me now.
They shouted at me when I first started. It's terrible, isn't it? Well, tonight we're going to be watching our usual multi-table tournament. We're going to be watching sit and goes and, of course, the cash games. So if we have a quick look at what tables we'll be watching, TK, it's over to you for that bit.
Okay, we start this evening with a 25-cent, 50-cent cash game. Which you can see is in progress already. Our good friend Snap It is there in good shape as ever and doing quite nice. Then we'll be moving on. Our next action will be a sit and go, a $2 jobby. As you can see, that's pretty well advanced. 4 players left, plenty of action, and a monster hand there, as you can see. And there you go, bingo, bish bash bosh. Stevie Boy, another regular. Then we go to another sit and go. This is $5, and we join it with an ace jack against kings. How good is that? And they'll be going on throughout the evening. Our good friend Daz is there as well as Delise Serre.
Buffy Bigood's there. I'll tell you something about him in a minute. And
then we finish up with our tonight's featured MTT is a $10 jobby. 127 runners. They all started with 1,500 chips, so there is, what would there be? 197,500 chips in play. It's a 12-minute clock. First prize is $381, down to 10th prize, $19.
Lovely. Well, you may be wondering why it's so green in the studio today. Well, you know those people that never like to talk about their birthdays and they all keep it under their hat? Well, I'm not one of those people, and I like to tell people when it's my birthday, because you get presents that way, don't you? It's true. Do you know what's happened? One of our delightful viewers...
Tell us what's happened.
One of our delightful viewers, because I think I said on the forum that I was working with TK and it was my birthday, so we were going to have some fun. And Buffy Be Good, Buffy, hello Buffy, look what he sent me. Look. And do you know what? I never get sent flowers. Look at that. They're lilies as well, which are my favourite. What do you think, TK? Look at those.
Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. They smell beautiful, as you do.
So I'm putting them there. Buffy, thank you so much. Send us a picture. We've also got some chocolates as well, which I'm going to be eating throughout the night. So yeah, do feel free to keep the presents coming in.
Could I just, before we get on to the poker, because I care deeply, I brought you some flowers as well.
Oh, thank you, TK.
Because I care. Do you drink?
Oh, look.
Do you drink?
I do.
Okay, I brought you some orange.
Oh, wow, look.
That's a sign that tells you how much.
Really? Is that a whole carton of orange?
And I haven't finished.
Wow. And it's got a straw.
I haven't finished. And I want you to understand this is from the heart.
Okay.
Have you had a birthday cake yet?
No. You haven't bought me a birthday cake. he's bought me a muffin. Do you know what? I'm touched. I don't think I can carry on.
You will be touched if you're not careful.
I'm starting to get the feel of how tonight's programme is going to evolve. Well, do you know what, TK?
You've
that's
had a
wonderful.
muffin from me. Just move on, will you?
Something that's never happened before live on air. Look, I'll tell you what, thank you for your flowers. Why don't we pop them in there like that? And then you can match the flowers.
How nice does that look?
So I'm going to put my collection of presents.
I think we better get on with the poker, hadn't we?
And I think we probably should get on with a little bit of poker. What do you think?
I think that's a good idea.
Well, look, Buffy Beard's playing, so I think it's only fair, as he's gone to so much effort to make my day, that we head over to his table.
Okay.
And apparently he's all in.
And we join them with an all-in.
And he wins.
Queens were good enough to beat King 10, our good friend Buffet. Buffet is Flower Man, believe it or not.
Is this a blueberry muffin or a chocolate muffin?
It's one I made myself. It's a homemade, it's like a spaghetti bolognese muffin. Let's move on with this MPT. This is, we've got 127 runners here. It's early days. So the field is just taking shape now. We've got a nice raise here from Caradus.
With a pair of tens?
With, it looks Ace Jack to me.
Oh, wait.
Thickhead. And I'm not talking to you.
Thickhead?
Thickhead is the guy. Thickhead in seats 5, yeah? Thickhead. And a pair of 9s in C8. So this is going to get quite unpleasant. We've had a raise and a call. What is he going to do with his pair of 9s? What would you do with his pair of 9s?
I would fold.
I'd get out the way, like a get out the way thing.
Yes, they're screaming high pairs or aces to me there.
Absolutely, get out the way. The pair of 10s are still winning. He doesn't like the queen, but he has to bet here. I think he's going to put a decent bet in, and Caradus is still calling. This is not good play. He needs to re-raise or get out the way. Oh, he's called another queen. Queens and 10s are good.
I think Ed takes it.
Taking a nice pot down there. So at this stage, he's probably in quite good shape with 18-20. He'll be comfortable with that. And Super Taff, presumably from Scotland, has picked up Pocket Rockets.
The best hand pre-flop in Texas Hold'em.
Wow, advanced
it's
stuff.
Nice when that pops up in your box, isn't it?
It is. He's put a nice raise in, just slightly over a pot-size raise. He might get action from C8 with King Queen.
Well, if Kasdan's been listening, Kasdan. Let me tell you something about Kasdan too. He made this map for us, this mouse mat. So Kasdan, who's playing there at the top with Queen King, made us a mouse mat that we can use when we play Beat the Presenter. So I'll show that to you in a second. Let's see how this.
Let's see how this hand plays out. The King Queen has walked into this little trap. Luckily for him, he didn't catch his king or a queen. It's usually a disaster when they do.
Look, and it's got all of our poker names on it. Look, it's got all of our poker names on it, and some little cards. Look, it's from Kasdan too. It's good, isn't it? And do you know why they did that?
God, this is going to be a nightmare tonight.
Do you know why they did that? Because I kept not raising enough, and I got told off by James, and I blamed it on the mouse on the glass. So they've made this so there's no excuses now. No petty raising
James
from me.
Browning?
Yep.
Take no notice. Take no notice.
Back to the game.
Okay, we've got Ace King versus Jack 10. Kasdan's got top 2 pair. Caradus has got a gut shot and a 10. He might fancy his gut shot here, but he hits it, he's going to get paid big time, that's for sure. Nice pot, 360. Blinds are at 10-20, so this is a serious big pot now.
Do you think Kasdan's playing it, slow playing it, or do you think he's generally worried about a straight?
He's got to be worried. And there's 2 hearts as well. He wants to be killing his hand now. Caradus has put a nice probe bet in there. Quite rightly, Kasdan has gone over the top big time. Caradus needs to get out of the way here. Well, if you think about it, unless he catches his queen, he's not beat. Oh my goodness.
Oh, what do you think about that?
Well, it's ended in tears because Caradus is all in. He can't win. He's drawing dead. He's now gone home.
So he must have been bluffing then.
Well, he felt he could. He felt Kasdan was bluffing. He felt his 10 was good, or he could represent a hand that he didn't have. But when you've got top 2 pair, the flush hasn't come. There is a possible straight there, but to be honest, at this stage of an MTT, you have to call it. You have to call it. You have to take a few risks. Did you watch us when we talked about the risk style?
I watched a bit of that actually.
We have
yes.
no risk.
And
Yeah, we'll do some of that tonight.
Okay, what's some general swaying?
Yes, let's do some general swaying later on. Here we have Ace 10 versus Queens. Buffy, our friend Buffy, and Thickhead, and Super Tap. And it's Super Tap against Buffy. Super Tap is clearly in front, a perfect flop for Queens, 9 high, and takes it without too much fuss. Has actually doubled his starting stack already. He's nearly at 3,000.
Okay, so we're watching a tournament.
Wow, look at these hands here, Michelle. Ace 9, Ace Queen, Ace Queen. How do you think this is going to play out?
Well, the ace-9 won't be getting involved now. There's been a raise, hopefully.
Yeah, what is the guy in the big blind, the small blind, going to do?
Well, I would... What, with the king-7?
No, ace
Oh, no,
queen.
with the ace-queen. Well...
Well, he either lets go, or he can't really call. He needs to see where he is, so he either lets go or he re-raises.
So the one thing he shouldn't do
He's-
is call,
he's
which is
called.
what he's doing.
Well, I'm not saying it's wrong, but... Oh, my goodness. Well, there's probably going to be a split here, but all the chips are going to go in.
It will be interesting, yeah, it'll be interesting to see if one can push the other off.
If a flush comes, one might get the other. It depends if it all goes in now. If it doesn't all go in now, this guy's going to raise.
It's going all in here, something you could do if you'd hit queen with ace-queen.
The nice scenario here is if they don't get it all in now and the flush comes and one gets the other off it. This is raise, re-raise, re-re-raise. Now we're going to see a re-re-re-re-raise. There you go. And now we're going to see an all-in. 2 all-ins.
You have the sight of the future, TK.
And it's a split pot, as it was always going to be. How jolly exciting that was. Once again, we've got some nice hands here. Thickhead is... I wish I didn't have to call him Thickhead, but King, Queen. Buffy's got out the way.
Well, king, queen reigns in the rule of the land of the unraised pot.
You're worrying me. You've been listening to James too much. Yes?
I have been. He's been drumming it into me.
Mark Banning's the 8-7 man.
7-8, the Bannon.
7-8 off-suited, the Banning, yes.
I'm the aces queen. Play the aces, that's what I say.
They'll do for me. A lot of action here on this table at this early stage. Don't forget 127 runners.
Right, okay, just to let our viewers that don't know what Texas Hold'em is, can you just tell them what it is, what this tournament is, how it works?
Yeah, it's Texas Hold'em is everybody gets dealt 2 cards face down. There are 5 community cards. That's the cards in the middle that everybody shares. They are dealt in 3 batches. The flop, which is the first 3 cards, the turn, the 4th card, and the river, the final card. There's betting before the flop, after the flop, after the turn, and after the river. And the best 5-card hand, combined with the community cards, will take the pot. This is a tournament as opposed to cash. Don't forget, big difference between tournament and cash. They play greatly different. This is like the FA Cup. It's a knockout. And you lose your chips, you go home with your tail between your legs and a sulk on. Thing not to do in this is finish on the bubble. Finishing on the bubble means when you finish 1 spot off the money. So we play 10 places tonight. The bubble man, which is we play 8 places tonight. So the bubble man is in 9th.
Oh no, you were right, it is 10, isn't it? Sorry.
This is where you get working with women.
Ooh!
10 places tonight. So the 11th spot is what's known as the bubble. Nobody wants to finish on a bubble. Have you ever finished on a bubble?
Oh, I have, many a time.
I've been playing 37 years and I've never bubbled.
No.
That's true.
What?
It's just
37 years?
It's just one of those things. It's a gift.
So are you always in the money, or is it either all or nothing?
I usually win, but sometimes I don't.
Wow. And do you play many tournaments?
Yeah, fair few. I exaggerate a little. I mean, I wouldn't want to mislead you and get a lot of forum abuse. But actually, I bubble a lot.
Okay, so I really need to get the hang of your sarcasm for tonight then.
I have been known to
I
bubble.
actually believed you then.
Well, that's encouraging news for me. We'll take it from there. Here we have Ace 10 against Ace 7. As is often the case, Ace 7 suited, Ace 10 suited. The worst hand, the dominated hand, is nicely ahead, but he doesn't know he's ahead. He has bottom pair. He'd need to be very brave to withstand Buffy Begood's bet.
Yes.
And has to get out of the way. He's actually winning, but he can't possibly know it.
Well done, Buffy. I'm behind you tonight.
Does Buffy come from Buffy the thing.
The Vampire Slayer?
Yes.
But I think it might do. How old are you, Buffy? Let us know. Text us in. Send us in a picture. Put a face to a name.
Please. Here we have two nice hands. King, Queen and King Jack. Super Taff. What a strange name.
Well,
Super Taff.
is the King Jack a nice hand, though, or is it a tricky hand?
It's a tricky hand. I mean, here's a perfect example of what's a tricky hand. You might think it's a good hand, but when you're up against King, Queen, you're in a big pile of poo. Unless he catches his Jack. So the problem with playing King, Queen and King, Jack is if you run into Ace, King or Ace, Queen or Ace, Jack, then you're in all sorts of mess. The King, Queen...
Ooh, look at my old Joe just checking his Queen, and now Super Taff might think he's ahead.
Yeah, again, this could get... No, he's let it go. Well, there's a good read.
Just called it.
What a good read. What is the name of that player in seat one? Mild
Joe.
Mild Joe. Sounds like a tobacco, doesn't it?
It does. We've got honey rifles as well. Helmuth. I think it's the Phil Helmuth.
Helmoth, it says, I think.
Got Super Taff, Thickhead, Buffy, of course, our flower buyer, Golden Jaguar, and Caston 2 at the top.
Okay, what's your online name?
Night Nurse.
Of course,
yes,
it's
the
Night Nurse. Yes.
Although when I played Beat the Presenter, we couldn't get Night Nurse, so instead I'm Chip Nurse.
Chip Nurse.
Which isn't quite as good and doesn't make sense.
Look, 7-8.
It's the Bannin.
And it's winning. That's what it's called, the Bannin, is it?
Yep.
We have a hand called the Wilson, which is 7-4 off.
The 7-4 off the Wilson.
7-4 off.
Is this somebody that likes to play 7-4
off? A gentleman that won a bracelet in the World Series last year. And that was his hand. That was his debut at the World Series, the 5,000 pot limit hold'em. Seriously big competition. His signature hand is 7-4 off.
Oh, Thickhead has it, but it's suited, so it's not the same.
No, suited doesn't count. It's not a full Wilson. We've got seat 2 here in the small blind with Ace King. He's
not going to get any money.
Hellmother with 6-8. He's put a proper raise in as he needs to. Oh dear. Hellmother's caught an up and down straight draw here.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10 he goes.
And has hit it.
Wow, this is
Well,
unlucky.
forget the 6. The 6 doesn't count. 7, 8, 9, 10.
Oh yes, of course, it's the higher straight.
So if a queen comes, this is going to be awfully nasty. But unless a queen comes, I'm afraid seat 2 is in serious trouble.
Well, he rightly folds.
So taking shape quite nicely now. Buffy's got 3,000, Thickhead 2,400. Poor Super Taff's in trouble, but 6-7, a nice hand. Might have a little play with this. So we will watch this hand here, and then we're going to move on to some other things. Let's see this 10-8 versus 6-7. How's Super Taff going to play this? Oh, he's hit 2 pair against top pair. He's going to get paid here unless the 9 comes. He's going to double up, I fancy. Hellmother thinks he's the winning. Top pair and gut shot. Super Taff has got bottom 2 pair. Re-raises. He's going to be all in here. Full house. Full house. What a hand. What a hand.
Well, we're going to leave our multi-table tournament there for the moment. I'm going to save your muffin and drink for when I play and beat the presenter. So I'll pop them there.
Could you call it a cake, please?
Okay. You didn't put a candle in it for me. We've got a couple of emails actually. I'll do one of these before we move over to our cash game.
What did you just say?
Should we do an email before
yes, okay.
we move over to our cash game? Because we've got one here from Sam Bamp. He says, just wanted to share a story with you and ask you a question, as I know how Dr. Tom and the rest of you guys love your odds. I was having a particularly bad day in terms of getting cards in one of my regular sit and go tournaments, and I was down to about half my stack without playing a hand. Jubilation when I get dealt a couple of aces, so I promptly threw all my money in and picked up some fairly measly blinds for my efforts. Kicking myself profusely until next hand, what should I be dealt? Another pair of aces. So I slow played these ones and ended up tripling up, which was nice. Anyway, what I'd like to know is what is the odds of getting pocket aces 2 hands in a row in an 8-handed game? Cheers, and that's Sam from Nottingham. And he says, I hear they're opening a new super casino here soon. Huzzah!
Well, the odds of catching pocket aces 2 hands running would be approximately 216 to 1 to get a pair of aces in the hole in an 8-handed game. to get the two hands running would be roughly 216 by 216. So off the top of my head, that would be something like 43,000 to 1. So that's pretty long odds. Well done. And I see you're a Nottingham boy. Come into Gala and see us. Come into the new casino and see us. Good luck.
What did you say? 43,000 to 1? Because you're very close, because the answer's been worked out by one of our production staff. They're very clever. It's 48,400 to 1. So look how close you were.
He might be wrong.
That's a fair point. He might be wrong and you might be right. In fact, it's more likely that you're right and it is indeed 43,000 to 1.
I wouldn't put a penny on it. I have to say I thought it was something like 216 to 1. It gets a bit complicated, but it's a lot.
He's even told us how he worked it out, but we won't take you into that.
I would say Sam Bamp, it's a very, very long odds to get. Pocket aces, two hands running. Well done.
So we hope you enjoyed it. Right, we're going to head over to a cash game. So you're going to sing Happy Birthday to me live on air, are you, Tikay?
Yes, I will sing shortly. We will go back to our cash game now. I'll join our cash game for the first time this evening. And we join it, there's some action going here. There's a pot of $1.25. We've got ace jack against 8-2. Not quite sure what 8-2's doing here. He's obviously having a play at this. Our friend Snap It invariably hoovers up the table. Oh my goodness.
And unfortunately the 8-2 is
the 8-2 is actually winning and has won it. So Snap It's taken a bit of a beat there.
So how does this cash game differ from the tournament we were just watching?
Well, the primary difference here, we see seat 2 with a pair of 9s here, but I don't think he's going to get any action. The primary difference in a tournament, the blinds keep rising. The cost of playing unerringly rises. It goes up and up and up throughout the tournament, and so you can't sit still and wait. The value of your chips effectively changes, so you've got to keep bashing away. Whereas in a cash game, the blinds don't change, so you can sit there all night, wait for your hands, play your game, and it's a lot cheaper to see hands. That is the primary difference. In a tournament, it's an exciting thing because the blinds get bigger and bigger. You've got to get busy.
There's a start and a finish.
There is a start and a finish, usually in one evening. If you play online, most tournaments take between 1 and 4 hours, and you reach a nice climax as get to the final table. It's pretty exciting. But the blinds are what makes the action come to an end. If they didn't put the blinds up, the tournaments would go on forever because people could just sit and wait. In cash games, the blinds don't move. That means you have to adapt your game. In cash, different to tournaments, that's a whole different ball game. Let's have a look at this here. We've got pocket 2s in seat 2, pocket 8s for our friend Morrison. We've got some suited cards for Snap It and for JAK. Trouble is they're in the same suit. Angel can't play these deuces too strongly. It's Morrison that's going to dictate this hand with the wired snowmen.
If you were sitting there with a 7-9 suited, is there any time where you would play that hand or limp in? You would?
Oh yeah, in a cash game, yeah, I want to see a flop with 7-9.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean it's suited. There's if it's not too much to see. Nobody likes this flop. Nobody. The pocket 2s has found that despite his pocket pair, it's come through over cards, which it often does with deuces. And there we see the power of a bet because Morrison with his pocket 8s hates the flop so much that a small bet made him get out of the way. Lovely play by seat 2.
Angel.
He knew he wasn't winning there. He put his bet in, and by far the better hand had to get out of the way. But in cash you can wait. You know, there's plenty of time. It's not like it's a last opportunity. It'll go on all night.
Well, Gallows picked himself up at ace queen and he's in late position, which is always nice to pick up a nice little whole card hand in late position because you get to see what everybody else does first. Yeah,
the guy on the button, if the raise is not too big, JAK might fancy taking a flop with Jack 9. The problem here, you see, is if he raises enough to get rid of them, he gets no action and he just takes the blinds down. But if he just puts a teasing bet in and gets some action, which is what he wants to win some money out of this. He wants to turn that risk dial up to the medium spot so he can get paid. But he's not going to know where he is unless he hits. So let's see how much he raises. He's made it 50 cents.
So he's decided to limp.
He's just limped. Well, seat 1 has picked up an up and down. Seat 2 has an up and down with an extension at the top end to the jack. They've bet and got rid of ace queen, which is now winning. Oh, wow, there's a straight. Seat 2 has this. The problem is seat 1, Robo Squirrel, thinks he's winning. Both got a straight. Angel has the better one.
Because we're looking for the best 5-card hands. Now, of the 7 that it can get to, because 5 on the board and 2 in your hole, you can use any 5 cards, can't you, out of the collection of 7?
Any 5. You don't actually have to use the 2 in your hand. Sometimes it's what's known as playing the board. If the 5 board cards collectively are better than your 2 cards, you can use those. It's very unlikely you're going to win.
Yeah.
But it happens. Sometimes the board comes to full house, you split the pot.
Yep.
Yeah, we've got Snap It with King 3 suited. He yields to JAK with a Q. These guys will grind away for hours, and they'll probably sit down with 25 bucks, 50 bucks, and at the end of 3 or 4 hours, if they can get up with 100 bucks, they've had a good night. If they lose their 50 bucks, they pull up again, as it's called. Put another 50 bucks on the table, and that's the way cash works. You can keep pulling up.
So the maximum you can sit down with is $50?
Yeah, it's sensible to do that, because otherwise, if people can sit down with any amount, it gets a little silly. If a guy sits down with $1,000 and keeps shoving it in.
Oh, I think that's why they give limits, isn't it, on these cash games?
Yes, absolutely. I was on a cruise a while back, and the Scandies were there, and we were playing a $5 blind game, and we were all sat with $800 or $1,000 in front of us, and a guy come and sat down with $65,000 and put it all in every hand.
Yeah.
Which killed the game, because that's just silly. So what happens online is that there's normally a limit to what you can sit down with. I don't know what the limit is here, but let's assume it's 50 bucks.
It is. It's 100 times the big blind.
So we can say that Morrison has done well. He's up to 94 bucks. He may have had to pull up twice. We don't know, but at some stage he only had 50, and he's got 94 now. So he's done quite nicely. When you want to sit down in a cash game, you've got to play to your pocket, and you've got to look for value. So sometimes you want to look for small stacks that aren't going to bust you. Sometimes you might want to look for a table that's got some big stacks so that you can get paid. But remember, if you're playing against people with a very small stack, it takes away one of the weapons of poker. One of the biggest weapons you've got is the ability to push somebody off a hand. But if they've only got 3 or 4 bucks in front of them, you can't push them off. So that weapon is gone. So bear that in mind. Right. Stamper, USA, which I think is America, takes that down. And we now have pocket 5s, ace queen, king queen, jack 2 suited. Who's going to be the brave one? Who's going to lead the way here? As expected, Snap It.
Very dominated by JK.
Yeah, and he put a nice post on the forum the other day as well. Very interesting post. We haven't seen Ramchip yet this evening, but I'm sure we will soon. Are you familiar with Ramchip?
I certainly am.
I thought you might be. He's going like a train, isn't he? He's winning left, right, and centre.
He is.
So JAK raises up with the ace queen.
Snap It will probably put this down now.
Yep, very wise. You read his mind.
I did. I have many talents.
Yes.
So, okay, when you're deciding which 2 cards to play with, what do you use to help you make that decision?
You have to gather a lot of information. Just taking a quick look at what's gone on so far in terms of winning percentages. Morrison, of the hands he's played, he's won 60%, which is quite remarkable, which explains why he's got that 90 bucks we just spoke about. Angel 54%, Snap It 52, Robo Squirrel 42, and Gallo 135. But we did indicate that Morrison was obviously going well. Of the hands he's been involved in, he's won 60%, which is actually quite extraordinary. You don't have to win more than 50% of the hands to make a profit. You can lose a lot of little hands and win one big hand, or vice versa. But he's got a good winning percentage, and he's turned it into cash. So obviously solid.
Do remember, if you have any questions, you can text them into us to 84222. Do you write the word poker first and then your question, and you can email poker@pokernightlive.co.uk.
We see another, even though I've only been with you a little while, a guy that I see every week, might be a girlie, I don't know, John Boy Rebel, sat in seat 3.
Here he is, or she.
He, she, donkey, whatever it is. Very, very good player we've noted in the past, but it's got it all to do with 5-3 against Queen 4 and Ace Queen. Stamper USA doesn't quite know where he is. This is one of those pots, when you're playing, of course you can't see other people's hole cards, but in many cases everybody misses, and so if you all miss, sometimes it's the first to bet that takes it, the one that has a go at it.
Well, it's surprising that Stampers USA just decided to call the big blind with an ace queen. If he'd raised it, maybe he would have known where he was a bit more.
Yeah, I think that's very important. When you say just call, he didn't find out what he was against. If he'd have re-raised or raised, he would have known what he was facing. He would have got rid of the rubbish hands, he would have thinned the field out and known where he stood. As it didn't, he limped, and so an essential piece of information gathering had failed. What happens before the flop is very, very important. Whether you're online or live, it's gathering information. Watching people bet, see how much they bet from what position. That is the key element of tournament poker. Cash poker as well, I suppose. You've got to gather information. If you've got a pair of 8s and there's 3 people in the pot, really there's only 2 things you can do here. You're either going to throw them away or you're going to raise to see where you are. Otherwise you're going to be in all sorts of mess. Somebody could be lurking there with aces or kings.
Well, it's your only way of finding out information, by betting patterns.
Correct.
The only way you can ask questions, as the 8s are doing now. He's saying, what have you got? And JAK is saying, I've got an ace. We can see he hasn't, and Morrison hasn't believed him, because he's called.
But I don't know if he can fire another shell. You'd be brave to bet again now, wouldn't you?
Well, the continuation bet, we've talked about this before on the programme actually. A lot of times you find yourself making a bet on the flop and it gets called, you're not sure where you are. Yep. Do you make another one on the turn?
Well, following through is important. You need to make that continuation bet. But you need to have some judgment on this, because if you really think the guy's got the hand, you have to say to yourself, what would the fella behind you be calling with? You know, what does he have that you think that's winning? To run the bluff successfully, you've got to fire all the shells. But if you've convinced yourself that he's not going to put the hand down, and some guys can't put hands down, then you better give up, because some people won't pass hands ever. So that's the skill of poker, really. Knowing when to stop, when to bluff, when to move in.
By using the information you've gathered about your opponents through their betting patterns. And it's, I mean, well, there's 2 ways to win, isn't there? You can either have the best hand at the showdown, or you can make your opponents believe you have the best hand by making them fold.
Yeah, that's proper poker, is when you begin in poker, what you think is that you need the best hand to win, and then if someone bets and you haven't got the best hand, then they have a better hand. That's the first hurdle you have to overcome, because that's not the case. It's having the ability to win a hand, if necessary, without the best hand. So you don't need a hand to win, you don't need a hand to bet, you don't need a hand to raise. What you need is the ability to read your opponent, that you can get them off their hand. That is the real skill. Or you can call. If you've got a pair of 9s and the flop comes ace, king, king, and someone bets into you, are you brave enough to call? Have they got the ace or the king? That's a judgment. Lots and lots to learn in poker. We'll see a fair bit tonight. And we see Robbo Square here with king 10. No hand. He takes it down. It's going to be quite a lively table, this, I think. Once again, JAK is picking up plenty of tasty hands. He's got king, queen suited. Robo Squirrel's got a small pair. Angel's got ace, jack, and raises with it. How do you play ace, jack, Michelle?
I generally would raise with an ace, jack.
I
need to. I mean, like you say, thin the field. If you raise with an ace, jack, and the flop comes down 5, 2, 3, you can think to yourself, well, has anyone called my raise with any of those cards? And usually not. So it gives you that extra bit of information.
Thinning the field down, which you referred to there. This is important. If there's 6 people in the pot, 7 people in the pot, and the flop comes down, at least 1 or 2 of them are going to hit some of it, and you don't know who's hit what. So that's why you have to spin the field out first, to make sure you reduce the chances of your hand being overturned. Even if you have the best hand before the flop, allow too many people to see it and you're going to be behind. Aces are a huge favourite 1-to-1. But if you have aces and there are 4 players in the pot with you, you're not favourite anymore.
No.
Because you're still 50% and they're all 10% maybe. So
there's a bigger array of hands which they could have now.
well, 1-to-1,
acquired.
you're 80% with aces. But the more people you allow in the hand, the less chance there is. So
I think the other problem a lot of people have is if they do raise pre-flop with something like an ace-queen or an ace-jack and then they completely miss, they still want to stay in that pot because they were the initial raisers. There's people betting at them all over the place. You do see a lot of people that keep paying them off because they don't want to put the hand down because they've put money into it.
yeah, lots of ways of playing ace-king, ace-queen. Remember, they're only ace high before the flop. And a lot of people online seem to think the way to play it is to move all in and hope. Cross your fingers, cross your legs, close your eyes, shovel your chips in. It's not really very clever. There are better ways of playing it. You need to mix it up a bit. Very, very often, particularly when the blinds are low or in a cash game, very, very often it pays to limp with ace-king or ace-queen. If you miss your flop, let it go. It's cost you nothing but a blind. If you catch your flop, nobody's going to put you on that hand. So lots and lots of ways of playing it. Late in a tournament with ace-king or ace-queen, they are massive raising hands. They are hands in which you try to bully people off other hands. You don't want to call with it, you want to be re-raising people to make them put hands down. 2 ways of winning. 1, you get them to put a hand down. 2, they won't put a hand down, but against any hand to get queens or down, you're even money. So 2 ways of winning with ace-king late in a tournament.
Well, Gallo here has hit. Oh, this is
Wow.
awful. Gallo's hit the set. He
Oh,
didn't bet. He played it tricky, and Jumbo Rebel got the flush. Or maybe he was already worried about the flush because there was 3 cups
Yeah.
on the board before the river.
John Boy's always there, isn't he? He's there and thereabouts. When there's trouble lurking, he seems to be in the pot.
So our main thing here, to the guys and girls out there learning, is there is a lot of information to take in, but keep watching, and it will start making sense. But one of the biggest things you need to do is observe. Try and work out what they could have, know what you've got and what could be beating you, and whether it's likely they've got that hand that's beating you.
Yeah,
and it's a lot of information to deal with when you're learning, isn't it?
It is a lot, but you know, this is where information gathering is important. Just by watching the actions of other players, whether it be in live poker where you can actually see them act, or online where you can see if their betting pattern changes, they play a little slower, they raise a little more, they raise a little less. You have to watch all sorts of things. If you watch a tournament, if you sit in a tournament and it goes 5 orbits, and every time it gets to the button, seat 7 raises, you have a clue here, don't you? This man's stealing. Mm-hmm. The probability is he's stealing, so now you can re-raise. And the button is the place to steal from, but beware of re-steals. So it's very important. A lot of us sit at home and play online, and you know, we watch EastEnders at the same time, or Trains with Pete Waterman, which is a lovely, lovely programme.
God.
What's the matter with
I
it?
think of anything worse than watching Pete Waterman bang on about steam trains.
It's not going to work, Michelle, unless you get into steam trains.
I think I'll stick to Stenders.
Okay. So when you're playing online, you know, you be careful you don't get distracted. There are things to watch. If you really want to concentrate and win money, then you've got to keep focused. We surf around on the forums, we surf around on the web, we watch the TV, we feed the cat. Really, that's not playing the game to its best advantage. Concentrate for an hour, take a break, then go back and do it again.
Well, look, we've got 9, 10, Queen Jack, so we've got a gut shot straight for Jumbo Rebel and a flush draw, because one more club would give him the flush.
That's a gut shot for John Boy.
Yep, and the flush draw.
Second nut flush draw. And a gut shot. A queen would actually be very painful here for John Boy, unless it was a queen. Well, the queen wouldn't do any good. But now he's caught the straight. Now he's not caught the straight. Will you get this right? We got in a mess there, didn't we?
We?
Yeah, I think our kicker won the hand. It was too complicated to do all these straights and flush draws.
Oh,
Michelle
the amount of
was
times
telling
I've
me
missed a
what
straight.
hand was what, and she confused me there.
I've missed so many straights by playing. When I've even had a straight, I've surprised myself when I've won the pot.
So Robo Square with Ace King. We were talking about Ace King before. How's he going to play this? Angel with Queen 10. Hello with suited King. JAK with Ace 5. Excuse my giggle there. Michelle was just waving to the gallery, indicating 1 minute, I believe.
Actually, the viewers will know what you're laughing at because they did that the other day. They've just shown the picture of me eating a sandwich, which they showed the other day, and it's really mean of them.
They didn't show your gesture to the gallery.
Look, see, what are you playing at? That's not fair. Someone's going to get a pen in their eye for that one.
Here we have a second nut flush draw for Gulio. Gulio, is it?
Not
King
having any
4,
more
it's not
chocolates
hit
now.
yet. And top pair and gut shot for Angel. Let's see how this rivers out. He needs a jack for his straight. Gulo needs a spade. No spade comes. Angel still has top pair showing, top pair on the board. Very straightforward. And amazingly, despite sitting down not very long ago, John Boy Rebel's already up to 81 bucks. It's amazing in cash games, the best players will gradually accumulate, gradually build their stack. When you arrive at a cash table, when you look at the size of the stacks, you know who the class players are. These two guys can both play. Snap It too. Snap It's clearly not ahead at the moment, but boy, it may be ahead. He may have only sat down with 25 bucks, but from what I've seen in the past, excellent player. So Jack 7, King 10. Nobody's hit anything. To the victor, the spoils. Who's bravest? JAK moves in. Got a very aggressive game, JAK.
Which is good to watch.
As befits his name. It's my father's initials, JAK.
Is it?
Yeah.
Jasper.
James.
Aaron.
Anthony. You're doing very well. That's Noel
King.
Kendall, yeah, okay.
Well, a big shout out to you.
My name's exactly the same.
To the TK family. To the TK posse.
Yeah, posse. Jack 8, Jack 6, dominated. No help for anybody on this flop. Fairly straightforward. You must keep betting in this game. You can't let people be taking pots of you. You've got to find out where you are. Put your bet in. If you get no action, you take the pot down. If somebody comes back at you, reassess. But really, in a cash game, you've got to keep punting away. Robo Square with a King 7, raises it up on the button, a still position. But Stamper wants to see a flop, misses it completely. Everybody's missed it.
So Robo Squirrel, because he was the initial raiser, he should be putting in a bet here, shouldn't he?
Yep, which he does.
And it works.
He gets it through. Normally you wouldn't bet a set, but there were two spades there. So if there are two spades and a paired board, a paired flop, you need to bet to get rid of the people with the flush draw, otherwise your set's going to get turned over. The set he didn't have, but he represented. Another button still there from Angel. We'll try and talk about button stills later on for those that are fairly new to the game, but they are an important element of poker.
Do you like the purpleness?
The purpleness.
Yep.
I think it's rather
Very
lovely.
pretty.
I think it's rather lovely. I think Mr. Trumper, who's going to play for them in Las Vegas.
Oh,
you heard of Simon
lovely.
Trumper?
No, I haven't.
Simon Aces Trumper, the world's most greatest famous player.
Really?
Was on Late Night Poker many years ago.
Maybe it's a bit before my time.
Anyway, he's going out to Vegas to play some poker. Here we see Snap It, 10-3 of clubs against Morrison's Jacks. Best get out of the way here, Sunshine, which he promptly does. There's no doubt about it. If you get a run of hands, it helps. The best player in the world can lose all his chips if the cards aren't coming. But the better players lose less. So in the big blind, with a pair of fives, Gulo.
Well, it's very true to say that you can make the right decision and still lose, can't you?
Absolutely. People think because they lost a hand, they say, oh, how do I play this wrong? You didn't play it wrong. That's the way cards fall. There's a little bit of luck. And if it comes down wrong, I mean, you could have kings and raise it up, and somebody with ace-2 calls you, the ace comes. How fair is that? But, you know, you haven't done anything wrong, you've just lost. That's just the way the cards fall. But if you make the right decisions often enough, particularly in cash play, if you keep making the right decisions time after time, you will come out in profit.
So it's the long run. It's a game about the long run.
Yeah, you mustn't take any one hand in isolation, because that's going to give you a misleading answer. Over a period of time, if you make the right decisions again and again, you're going to come out in profit.
And if you're sitting there with ace-7 and somebody raises and you choose to fold, and then the flop comes ace-7-7, you can't kick yourself in the teeth, because you still made a fine decision pre-flop. You can't look at the cards that you would have and then get angry with yourself for not playing them.
That's right. It's an important component of the game is the ability to handle beats. What have we got here? Snap It is in pretty good shape with ace-king of diamonds. John Boy needs to get out of the way here, because unless he catches a flush...
John Boy's annoyed because he raised it
Yeah.
originally.
He tried to steal that, but he may think Snap It was on a resteal, but he wasn't. He was in very bad shape. Snap It done John Boy a favour there. And that was the least he could lose on that bluff.
Oh, Stampers has got the
Stamper.
bullets. The American Airlines.
American Airlines for Stamper USA. And
The buttons.
I'm afraid JAK is going to want a bit of this. Even Gulo's might even want to take a flop with 9-10. And Jack-7 suited. So, just a limp here. Wow, this is dangerous. Oh, goodness me. Top set. JRK's hit the jack. They're all frightened of the spades. Even Stamper's frightened of the spades. Stamper's going to have to bet out now. Stamper will have to bet out to get rid of people. He doesn't know nobody else has got a spade, but he could be in danger of someone with a bare spade.
Doesn't make it a huge bet.
It's about pot size.
Which is the right amount.
Yes.
To not give people odds.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to leave that there for the moment, because we're heading off to a break in a minute. We've got a couple of emails, though, TK, so we'll do those.
Okay.
The flowers smell lovely, Buffy. Thank you so much. Right, email from Indestructible.
Excuse me, what about
they were brilliant, thank you very much. Although you did actually just rip them off of Buffy's flowers, to be fair. Right. We've got an email from Indestructible. He says, "Happy birthday, Michelle." Oh, thank you. All of 21 again, with 6 years experience. Flowers look lovely, but recommend checking the sell-by date on the chocolates. Well, we'll check that. He says, "My question relates to playing suited cards. When I watch Poker Night live, if a player has a hand like Queen 5 offsuit, it is a quick fold. But if it is Queen 5 suited, I often see players appear to get overexcited. I believe that players overvalue suited cards, but would like some advice on what suited hands, in your view, are more playable, apart from suited connectors."
Indestructible.
It's a good point.
Very good guy, Indestructible. Suited cards, it's a fallacy when people say they were suited. To all intents and purposes, there's no difference between suited and unsuited. The purists will argue and say, yes, there's a 1.26 or 2.16 difference. In terms of a measurable amount that you can calculate on a poker table, in a poker game, just assume there is no difference between suited cards and unsuited. It is that close. It is infinitesimally small. You'll throw away a lot of money if you keep calling or betting with suited cards thinking they're better than unsuited. They are better, but it's very, very small. If you're going to throw away Queen 5 unsuited, you throw away Queen 5 suited as well. It's going to cost you a lot of money. You're going to bet a lot of chips if you keep calling with that sort of junk.
Thank you, TK. Very nicely put. We're heading off to a break now. When we come back, I'm going to play and be the presenter. So, TK, you'll be taking over and giving us your commentary while I'm busy at work. Winning, because, of course, everyone's going to let me win because it's my birthday. Well, we're going to head to a break, and we've got the poker news, so enjoy that. And when we come back, we're going to have plenty more poker action. We'll watch a bit of that multi-table tournament and some more cash games and sit and goes as well. So don't go anywhere. We're off for a break, and we'll return after this. Good evening and welcome back to Poker Night Live. you may notice there's a cake on the table. Look! I think we could do a close-up, actually. Have a little look at that. Look! Oh, that's my birthday cake. The guy, 2-7. Why is there a 2-7 there? That should be ace-ace. I'm playing. You guys, you just have to wait.
I
But
think
look.
I think it's a reference to somebody's age.
Oh, of course,
They're either
27.
implying I'm 72 or you're 27. One of
Which
the
one
two.
is it?
Well, it couldn't be that, could it?
Don't look 27 though, do I? Let's be fair.
What you need is some candles.
Look, this is lovely. Let me taste a bit on there. Mmm. Oh, good.
My kind of girl.
Do you
Got to be
know?
said. Use her fingers.
Oh, look, guys out the back got me this in the break, and it's so, so lovely. Thank you so much for that, guys. It really made my day. And then with the flowers from Buffy, everyone's being so nice to me. I'm in the middle of playing. I'm being folded out, but thank you for the cake. I am just going to eat it while I play. I think it will help. Tikay, you're going to take over now, aren't you? It's really, really good.
Don't keep doing that.
I'm going to
Okay,
keep
we've got a
playing.
$2 tournament here. We join it. We pick them up here. It is right at the beginning. It's a single table tournament. There are still all 8 players in. They begun with 1,000 chips in. Fairly quiet hand here, except in the big blind we have a gentleman with pocket kings, and he has flopped his set in seat 2. Top pair. This is going to get quite unpleasant. He thinks his ace-6 is winning. Checked it. He's checked with a view to a re-raise here, I suspect. It's going to be a check raise. The pocket kings is bet out quite heavily. 200 into a 330 pot. Will he let go? Will he re-raise here? Could end up doing all his chips on this. Not much of a kicker. If you was playing this hand at home, you'd have to let go. That's what he's done. Guy with pocket kings, the best hand going in as 1. It's actually a monster hand. So, here we've got an ace queen, pocket 5s, pocket 10s. So there's going to be some action. The pocket 5s have quite sensibly limped. Pocket 10s are going to raise it up now. 2, let's see how much. 50. The ace queen. Well, the ace queen's come out ahead. The 5s need to get out of the way. The ace queen has got top pair but no spade. The pocket 10s has got 1 overcard and a spade flush draw. So we'll need to bet this. Ace queen will now raise. Is called, in fact. That's a dangerous play. Wow, that is a dangerous play. He needed to guard against the spade there. Pocket 10s doesn't quite know where he is, but he's still got his 10 flush draw and his pair of 10s, which is second pair. The ace queens are winning, but 80 has to call. Now Snaky is going to take this down, I feel. The pot is 690. That's a big pot in a competition where they both start with 1,000. So a pair of 10s for Tetsnack has cost him quite dearly, whereas Snaky is up to 1,400 odd chips. Shamo 5 with Queen 4 against Senjay with 5-8, bottom pair. Don't know where they are here. First to bet wins. That's what you need to do. If you don't know where you are, have a bet. If the other guy checks, have a little punt, have a tickle bet. You might get a surprise, take it down. What do you keep leave that cake?
I'm still chomping on it. Look how much I've eaten.
Goodness me.
I even just missed my go because I was so busy eating cake.
Use some utensils. Don't keep using your hands and your fingers. Goodness me. Are you from Essex?
Yes.
Well, that explains a lot. Eating cake with your hands. Sanjay with King 4.
Cheeky.
There's the Bannin, 8-7 off. Shamo 5 with King 8. Nobody's hit anything except Sanjay, who's got middle pair. King 4 wins. So still 8 players. Seat 1's established a nice lead. And we've got another 8-7 here. Suited. Nice cards to take a flop with, but don't forget, suited cards aren't worth that much more than normal cards. Treat it as 8-7, because it's not very often you're going to hit your flop. If you do hit the flop with suited cards, what do you do now? Do you wait to catch your flush, or do you bet out? I think the thing to do is to test the water and bet, because you might take it down without any resistance. So 373. As it happens, our friend with the 8-7 is leading. There are no real draws here. He's got top pair. He can't put anybody on a 3. Blinds could have a 3, I suppose. He's bet. He's going to take this down, I believe. Everything done correctly there. Nice and straightforward. The blinds are 10-20 at the moment. And while the blinds are low, you can take a few flops. We're going to see a few people taking flops here. We've got an ace queen, an ace jack, and an ace 9. The ace 9's raised it up. There are 2 other aces visible, so there aren't that many aces left. If I can work it out, there's approximately 1. And the ace queen would be winning if the ace came. So ace 9 has raised. Ace queen has gone all in. Ace 6 has called. Ace 6 is dominated. And it's come queen high. It's the perfect flop for Sham 05. There it is. Although Son's caught the 6, it wasn't enough. Son just perished at the hands of Sham 05, whose ace queen quite reasonably and fairly held up against ace 6. Ace queen again here for Telsnack in seat 8. Queen 4 for Sham. Now the hands of merit. He's raised it up with his queen 4. Quite cheeky. Blinds are 10-20. He's made it 100. He's going to start dancing now. This one will have to get out of the way with 6 deuce off. Telsnack is either going to raise or call here. He's not going to pass. He's raised. Sham has called. Has hit nothing. A loose call there. Really all was doing was calling to hit his flush. He's missed his flush draw. He's not going to get Telsnack off the ace queen. Goodness me. Telsnack's gone all in. Has got top set. Sham lost a bunch of chips there. Telsnack, who was down to 700, has got his double up. He's back in the game now. In fact, he's chip leader on the table. And now looks set to increase his or her lead with the ladies, pocket queens. 24 Ginger might want to take a flop with a suited ace. Late position, not unreasonable with blinds at 10-20. Let's see what Ginger does. Another Ginger. Ginger Jane. Let's go. Now we should see a raise from the queens. No point messing around with this. Yep. Snaky gets out of the way, and Telsnack increases the chip lead. We've got an ace 10 in a small blind, a little ace in seat 5, out the way quite rightly. King 7 from Swan, a little probe bet there with no head. Missed everything. Snaky's got a gut shot and he's winning. No oops with the ace 4 has had a lash at it, but has not got rid of Snaky, who's now got a nut flush draw. Missed that. Wins with the ace 10. Plenty of hands here. In seat 7 we see what's called the full Wilson, 7-4 off. Seat 8 has got ace 6. 24 Ginger's got king jack. There's the 3 deuce suited in the big blind. Could see some multi-way action here. A limp by 24 Ginger. A limp by Telsnack with ace 6. I don't like limping with ace 6. Catch your ace, you don't know where you are. You should be getting out of the way really with that hand or raising. Sham with his 3-2 in the big blind, takes a flop, misses completely. Telsnack, our chip leader in C8, has managed to catch 2 pairs here. Nothing will make him put his hand down. He's going to bet now to protect against the flush. There are 2 spades there. When there are 2 spades on the flop, Unless you have two big spades, you really need to bet in case someone's sat with two spades and you allow them to see their flush. So he's done the right thing here. He's bet 70, which is the pot. Oh dear. He now has two pair, nut flush draw, but 24 Ginger's caught the jack. 24 Ginger's got jacks and queens with a king. Telsnack has got aces and queens. The 6 no longer counts. So that's what's known as your hand being counterfeited. When a larger pair comes on the board than your kicker pair, it's been counterfeited. Getting quite aggressive, Telsnack now. King 10, Queen 10, 9, 7. They're all playing with none of this flop. Blinds are now 40, 80. Remember there are 8,000 chips in play because each player started with 1,000. So the average stack is 1,000. With blinds at 40, 80, that means there are 12 big blinds average. So the play diminishes slightly. In fact, we've lost seat 3 and 4. I forgot that. I'm sorry. So the average stack with 8,000 chips in play is 1,300, and there are something like 15 big blinds in play. Average. King 3, Queen 4, Jack 10 on an 8-6-5 flop. Noops has now hit the front with the Queen 4. There's a straight draw here, you have to be careful. And Swans has a gut shot draw, but Noops takes it down with the top pair. When you see a 6-5-8 flop, every chance of straight draws or even a flop straight there, so you have to be a little careful with these hands. Go diving hidden and you might, so will you stop eating that cake?
Oi, I wasn't eating it.
Don't oi me,
So
you know who I am.
Who are you?
Oh, I don't know, I've forgotten actually.
Come on, why don't you have a bit? There's a chocolate star there. Do you want that chocolate star?
No.
No, go on, because I had the other one.
No.
Oh, it's my go.
It's for those new to the game is technical speak. It's my go.
It's very, very technical.
Okay, this cash game continues while Michelle plays her beat the presenter and continues to scoop this cake with her fingers. She actually put her toe in it just now. We now got the $2 sit and go. 6 players left, remember? I thought there were 8. We lost 2. So Snaky is the chip leader. I'm not stuttering. That's what his name is. So Snaky.
That's a girl.
How do you know that?
Because she lives near me.
In Braintree?
Yep.
Wow.
She told me on the... She could be lying.
Well, she could be, yeah. Ace King for 24 Ginger. Nice raise. Pot size raise with the blinds at 48. He made it 280. Doesn't want a customer. Doesn't get a customer. Takes the blinds.
Well, Buffy's just told me her name is Joan.
Buffy? Is it Buffy that sent you the flowers?
Yeah. I was just playing him.
Her name's Joan.
But Snaky's name is Joan.
Oh, I see. Well, Buffy's name was Joan. I'm getting a bit confused here with these flowers. So, Swan raises with an interesting array of hands. Nothing wrong with that. King Deuce takes it down. Quite a big raise as well. But Swan's down to 490. Ginger 940. No ups 1570. Bershey Man 1250. Snaky 1720. And Telsnack 1790. Don't forget the average stack at the moment is somewhere in the region of 1,300 because there are 8,000 chips in play. You need to keep a note of what your average is and where you're relative to it. No need to press the panic button yet, but know what the average stack is all the time so that you know where you are in relation to the game. The average stack is your stack divided into the total chips in play. Well, 2 Queen Jack suiteds and an Ace 7. I wonder if Swan will make his move here. There's been a call with the Queen Jack suited, as there should be. Yes, he's gone in with the Ace 7. Might get looked up twice here. Bershman has to call for the odds here now. And in fact, Swan might even treble up here. Queen or a Jack doesn't come. Wow, how about that? Got the treble up. And moves up to 12.20. So a nice recovery there. Which leaves Sir Snakey. Is it Sir Snakey that's a woman?
Yep.
Called Joan?
Yes.
Joan, well played, Joan.
Would you like some cake?
If she got an ace, it would nice. And she scoops another lump up with her hand. Bershman with the queens. Telsnack with the ace 9. Telsnack is going to lose all his chips here. No, he's caught the ace. And Bershman, who's all in with the queens, has been very, very unlucky there. Telsnack gets a rather lucky ace and busts seat 2. So we're down to 5 players. Don't forget what we said before. Keep a note of where you are relative to the average stack. 8,000 chips in play, 5 players left. The average is 1,600. Blinds are 81.60, so the average stack has 10 big blinds. Telsnack's not average though. Got more like 15 there. 8-7 for Snakey. Pair of jacks now for Telsnack. Played very well, but has had the best of the cards so far, I think. And he's going to raise it up quite strong. 480. That's just beneath what's a pot bet. Takes it down without fuss. Always better to take the hand without seeing a flop. You can't lose if you don't see a flop. So sometimes people say, I didn't get any action with my aces, but you can't lose if you don't see a flop. 10-9-2, all diamonds is the flop. Nobody has anything. Noops is now caught third pair. Nobody's going to get very busy here on a 4 diamond board. In fact, Noops is winning this, but has no way of knowing. This won't get very expensive, I feel. Little pair on the button. Looks like a still raise going to come up here. A semi-bluff really. I have got a hand, but it's not a hand likely to hold up. Decided to let it go. Probably wise. King Queen for Sir Snakey. Ace 4 suited for Swan. Oh dear. Swan's caught the 4. Snakey's caught the King. Small bet by Swan. Call by Snakey, who's now caught 2 pair. Problem here is there's 4 spades, and nobody quite knows where they are on this hand. Snakey did. Bet, pass, win. Ace 3, 4, 9 for deuce. I think it's fair to say that unless Telsnack makes a remarkable play, this is going to be Snakey's. And these 2 guys are showing themselves to be the class of the field. Sorry, guy and lady. So Snakey is Joan, isn't it?
Yes, Joan. Hello.
I can't do that sort of high-pitched hello that Michelle done, but I'll give it a sort of, I'll give it a call hi. Where do they live? Oh, you told me, Braintree.
I get everyone to tell me their ages. Johan Harron reckons he's only 24.
Who's only 24?
Johan Harron reckons he's only 24. No, 26, he's saying.
Who's 26?
Johan Harron.
The young lad that...
Is he young, is he? So he's not lying then?
Well, I don't know him. 24 sounds pretty young to me. Been a while since I saw 24. Ace King. Suited. Correctly raised. Been re-raised on the bluff by Queen 10. All in. Oh, goodness me. Caught 2 pairs here. Wow. Well, the Ace King, a mile ahead, has lost that to 24 Ginger, but Ginger got the chips in. This is like a Julian Thu play. Get them in and hope. and sometimes it works. So, four-handed now, 8,000 chips in play. The average is 2,000. The blinds are 163.20. So the average is now six and a half big blinds, just over 6 big blinds. Snaky with 2,700, Telsnack 1,900, 24 Ginger after that 2-pair coup has got 1,700, and Noobs has got 1,500. They're still playing it though, and that's a walk. When the small blind and the big blind, when there's been no action if it gets to the small blind and the small blind passes, does not make up to the big blind, that's called a walk. And Snaky got a walk there. Walks are always nice, but we don't get too many of them. I don't remember my friend Flushy ever giving me a walk. He pays. Snaky with Jack 9, Noops with 10-7, Queen 4 Deuce. Into the stage of the tournament now when this really gets interesting. Normally in these things 2 or 3 players would get paid, and now the style of play has to change. Now you have to get fairly aggressive. Essentially the chips relative to the blinds mean that you've either got a raise and a re-raise or an all-in. There's not too much room for subtlety at this stage. It's a case of being brave. If in doubt, be first to speak. Get your chips in with anything if you're first in. And that's what 24 Ginger does in the small blind. Puts a 1 with 1 raise in, makes up and puts a double bet in. And Telsnack tries to get him off with Jack 8, which is a pure bluff. Ginger, I feel, with only 760 chips left, has the pot odds to call it. There's 2,900 in the pot, 700 to call, so it's 4 to 1. Has to call, hits top pair, gets the reward for being brave there. But you have to call for those odds.
So if you don't want that chocolate star, I'm going to have it then.
Well, I feel you should.
Okay. I'm going to go in for the kill then on the second chocolate star. You can't actually see this, but she's digging in with her hand now and scooping it into her palm, and you should hear in a minute it's going in now.
Mouth is open. Look at that. Star is in. Chewing away on a chocolate cake here. This is just unbelievable. This is surreal. It's very hard to concentrate on this cash game. Ace Queen against 10-8. Michelle with a mouthful of chocolate cake.
That's good.
I could do without these sound effects, I really could. 10-8 against Ace Queen, takes the lead. Second pair, might fancy it's winning this. But the Ace Queen bets out. Ginger lets go. Telsnack's got himself in very deep trouble. He's going to be all in here with his 10 Jack. He's going to be facing Ace 9. I think Ginger will pass, so has to hit the 10 or the Jack to survive. We can assume. What happened there? Well, I don't know if Telsnack is actually disconnected, but it's not possible he could pass for 30 with blinds at 163.20. I fancy he was disconnected, poor fellow. Well, he's won this pot with Ace Jack, which gives him a massive 60 chips. And if he doesn't call here, I think we know for sure. Yeah, Telsnack must be disconnected. We can't actually see that here on the screen, but that's a reasonable assumption. Queens for Snaky. Takes it down. Blinds are now 320, 640. Let's ignore, sorry to say this, but let's ignore Telsnack with 60 chips. So the average stack is 2,666 with the blinds at 320, 640. That's 4 big blinds. Chuck it in time. Telsnack, disconnected or not, is about to disappear. And just to make a fool of me, hits 2 pair. but now got 180, and on the big blind, or small blind should I say, that's all in, and it has the massive 5 deuce, hits again, believe it or not, but Dupes with the ace 5 has got top pair. Oh no, Knacker's done it again. Or not, what did I miss there? I must have had a mystery in there. So, we're down to 3. That's not happened before. Down to 3. Snaky Dupes, 24 ginger. 24 ginger all in with King Jack. And doubles through. It's amazing how it could turn at this stage. Blinds are still 326.40. It's almost a one-hand crapshoot now. So just get your chips in first and hope you've got the best hand. Try to pick the right situations. Queen 8 moves in quite correctly, takes the hand. We will see Snaky moving here with ace 9 suited. Ace 9 suited or ace 9 in a 3-handed game is a big hand. And Ginger's gone for it with ace 5. Snaky says, oh no you don't. It's come all hearts. Nobody's anything, but Ginger has a heart draw. Oh. And the ace, the dominated ace 5, takes it with a heart flush. That little ha-ha is no indication of how Michelle got on in her beat the presenter, any more than there's any indication of what's happening with this chocolate cake.
This is my victory dance, by the way, TK.
Well, that's given a bit of a...
I know, but it's my birthday, so I think for once we can give it away.
You've no idea what's been
on.
going on while you people have been away. Let's carry on with this. Let's see this to the end. 10 deuce against ace 7. We have top pair against an up and down draw. But Snoops catches the ace on the end. And to all intents and purposes, Snaky is out. Snaky has 10 chips with blinds at 326.40. So they're going to go in. He has to double up 712 times to get a blind, I think. So although you should never give up, life's looking grim for Snaky here. But he's caught a nice hand there. He's going to take this down and double up. But the double up's only going to make him have... It's a her, I keep forgetting.
Yes, Snaky's the she.
Joan.
The she of the species.
We need Joan to get an ace, so we can call her Joan of Ace. All in now with Jack 3, pocket 4s for Noops, 6-9, 24 Ginger. This match is going to develop into a heads up between Noops and 24 Ginger. What Ginger's called here. The pocket 4s are winning. Snake is actually called bottom pair. Oh! 24 Ginger's hit a set. And so, ladies and gentlemen, with that set, we have our winner. 24 Ginger, congratulations. My tip from the beginning. I wonder if that's the Ginger we know, Jane. Very good player. Congratulations, 24 Ginger. Takes it down. How's this cake going, Michelle?
I can't eat it all on my own.
Well, I don't know. Just... I can't believe what you've done there. I'm going to show them this. So, thank you for that sit and go. That was great fun.
Was it good? Did you enjoy?
Yep, I tipped 24 Ginger. And, yeah, it's been one quite a long time, this.
It's been on for ages. just watch the win. They're afraid. What? What? Do you know what? Look, there's nothing of me. I could put that whole cake in me and be fine.
She's been giving it... Honestly, she has.
That's not that much there, look. Do you know what? If you were Nick, I would so love to. You know, if you were Nick, I would.
We have 2 spoons, they're clean. What have you been using to eat that cake with?
No, I used the chocolate stars to scoop it up.
I tell you what, you're my sort of girl.
Wow. I would honestly, if you were, because it's you, I won't. But if you were Nick or Casper or even James or Tom, I would have.
You would.
Because that would have been wonderful TV. So live tournaments, I played really well, I have to say. But you can find out later just how well. I had the lucky birthday cards as well.
Well, the sound effects helped give us a clue.
Oh, the slurping.
And the whooping and whooping and hollering and giving it all this, which I actually taught you. We're going to go to an MTT very shortly. We must. This is a poker show, believe it or not.
Oh, my tea went cold.
You're going to get me in so much trouble here. I've just joined and I'm going to get the sack.
Oh no,
Okay.
no, you won't. But I'll completely take the blame.
I couldn't do that. Okay, so here we are in the MTT, which I'll remind you had 127 runners when it began, and they began with 1,500 chips each. We join it with blinds at 200, 400, so it's quite well advanced. And we see on the table that we're looking at, Ted Earth is the leader there. And we'll try and find how many runners are left for you shortly, so we can work out the stacks and how they're doing. Andy 678 with his medium ace, ace 10, is going to find some resistance from Paul 8 ball with pocket ladies. Andy needs to get out of the way quick here, and does. Paul 8 ball is up to 9,239. Our friend Thickhead.
Oh, he was playing in mine.
Yep. Thickhead is next to the Muppet. Isn't that nice? Thickhead and the Muppet next to each other.
Feel a bit sick,
Michelle
actually.
is now feeling sick and putting her makeup on. I can't believe what's happening here tonight.
Would you like to borrow some lippy?
I've got my own, thank you. I use a
Excellent.
particular shade of raspberry shade.
To match your jacket.
Raspberry? It's plum.
Oh, plum.
It's
Do you forgive me?
Prince Charles has one identical.
You do realise that's not a good thing, right?
What's not a good thing?
That Prince Charles has an identical
He's an
jacket.
icon. Have you not seen the suits he wears and that coat, that great coat he wears?
It's lovely.
Thank you. Ace Jack for Paul 8 ball.
Right, I'm finding out we've got 24 runners left.
24 runners left, and we started with 127. So average stack must be. There are 200,000 chips in play, so there are 20,000, I would guess.
20,000 for the big stack.
How many runners did we say were left?
27.
24 players
The
left.
biggest stack is 20,000.
So the average stack is 8,000. I would say, wouldn't you? 197,000 chips in play, 24 runners, around about 8,000.
Oh, I leave the maths up to the expert.
And most players on this table are in playable shape. Cincinnati Kid, spelled interestingly, has only got 2,380. And going to need to make a move soon with blinds at 200, 400. Pocket 8s for our friend in seat 2. And the Muppet has Ace King, and it's played as a bit cute. Now we're going to see the action. In comes the bet. Oh, Cincinnati goes all in with second pair, thinking he's winning. Ooh. And unfortunately the Muppet, or fortunately, catches second pair. We lose Cincinnati Kid. That's one off the list, one nearer to money. At this stage, you're getting nearer and nearer to the money. And it's getting pretty exciting here because Michelle's just scooped another lump of chocolate cake into her mouth.
You're such a liar. Right, that's it now. The cake's going in the face. That would be funny.
Wouldn't it just? There's some lads on my phone that would enjoy that. King 7 for Jakers. He's got top pair, 2 pair now.
Ooh.
2 pair against 2 pair. Iced Earth is going to lose some chips here.
Oh, this is nasty.
There could be a re-raise, just a call, probably sensible. There is a straight there. And so Jakers plays it sensibly, conservatively. If he played any stronger, Ice Earth could have lost a lot of chips. Andy with Ace 9. Potato Pan, is that? Potato D Pan? Seat 2?
Pot and pan.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
With 4
Not
5.
potato.
I didn't say potato.
You did.
I didn't.
Yeah. Sure you said potato.
No, you misheard me.
Chocolate's gone to my head.
Well, I'm not surprised the amount you've eaten. Goodness, actually scooped another lump up. King 5 for the Muppet. Queen 10 for Jakers.
Nobody hits.
They're all a mile off this 3-3-4 flop. This sort of flop, really, you have to take the assumption that nobody's got any of it. Nobody's anywhere near this. And if somebody has got a 3, well, you might have a problem, but you have to go for it. Michelle, having scooped half a chocolate cake into her mouth with her hand, is now working on a 5th cup of coffee of the evening.
Do you know what? It would have been funny if I had another plate. I could have just gradually through the night taken chunks off of it and pretended you'd eaten it.
You do sort of give the game away, don't you?
Is that what you were going to do?
So, pocket 9s for Paul 8 ball, King 6 for the Muppet.
2 overcards for the 9s
Does
though.
Paul know he's winning? Paul knows she's winning. Well, judging by the bet, yes. And gets a caller. Wow. Well,
And hits the 9.
It's got to be said, hits on the end. But at that stage was facing 3 overs. That's either very good play or I ain't putting this hand down come what may. It was winning anyway. But pretty brave play. Interesting call by Muppet as well. Ace 9 for Paul 8 ball on the button. Good stealing position with blinds at 200, 400. We have this is a family pot. We have 4 people in here for some strange reason. It's not good, really, if I may say so, to be calling with these raggy aces. Ace 6, Ace 4. If the ace comes, you don't know where you are. You're not bidding many hands. Think about what hands you're beating with Ace 4. You're beating Ace 3, Ace 2, and you're 50% against any pair 3 or less. So there aren't many favourable flops for Ace 4. So given that this is Amateurs Night, and apparently I'm well qualified to comment on Amateurs Night,
Yep.
these are hands I would suggest that we don't want to be playing with too long. Have some more cake, Michelle.
Do you know what? I just might do that.
Thickhead with Ace 7 of hearts in the small blind. Perfectly legitimate to raise here. At this stage, blinds are getting big. You can't be calling too much at this stage. You just can't. I'm sorry to laugh off vision, but the cake's going in again. There's another bucketful being shoveled into the mouth here. It is just quite extraordinary. What a wonderful girl Michelle is. I've been denied the pleasure of this young lady. I know another mad lady, Jem, but this one is equally mad. Goodness me, it's
You
going
haven't
in.
even tried any yet, TK.
Well, I'm just trying to find a part where your hands haven't been. Another mouthful there. Goodness me. King Queen for Jakers. The full Wilson for Andy in seat 1. 7-4 off.
Oh, that's one you were telling me about, the Wilson.
The Wilson, yep. If it's unsuited, it's called a full Wilson. If you're part of blonde, you're obliged to raise with it. If you don't,
okay.
if you don't, you're a girly. Not a girly, I mean a girly. Because girlies are nice, of course.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, but it could mean another thing, can't it? It doesn't have to mean girly, does it? 3 aces here. Ace 7, Ace 5, Ace 4.
Oh, look at Jakers taking in James's rule and folding that King Queen.
Yep. Thickhead takes it down. Isn't that interesting? Thickhead and a Muppet sat next to each other. I only want fish face.
Sounds like my local.
It should be the Muppet, Thickhead, fish face, and then, I don't know, Royal Flush or something next.
We've got Iced Earth with the 8.
Yes, but
Dominated.
Paul 8 ball. Got a monster here. Makes a big raise. Iced Earth thinks he's winning. Paul 8 ball is not going to put his kings down. Let me be assuring you. And so we'll see all 5 cards. And I'm afraid it's good night to Iced Earth.
Iced Earth is out. Sussed to the dust.
Lines, I remind you, are still 200, 400.
So there's quite a lot of play for our players, yeah?
Yep.
Don't need to start panicking just yet.
Well, the last time we looked, average stack was 8,000. And blinds were 200. So there was 20 big blinds last time we looked. It's a little, the average has gone up now, so, because blinds are still 200, 400, so plenty of play. And we'll follow this throughout the entire evening. Michelle's just having some more cake.
Yep.
There you.
So we've got a pair of twos for
can't believe
Jakers.
what's happening here. Goodness, I've got to concentrate. 10-3 against the pocket twos. I'm sorry about this, but Michelle just has scooped another handful
Of cake. What? It's my birthday, I'm allowed.
She's tried to get it in her mouth and she's missed. She looks a right state. King 9 for the Muppet. Deuce 3 for Jakers. King 9 for the Muppet takes it down. Blinds are now 300, 600. And whether you're playing or watching, this is a stage of an MTT or multi-table tournament when it really gets interesting. This is when you need to be creative and inventive. Jakers has hit bottom pair and a gut shot. And there's the same gut shot for Andy.
Will the bet take it? Yep.
Paul 8 Ball is really moving into nice contention now with 23,000 chips. We don't know what's on the other tables, but dominates this table. But we can tell because there are 2 seats left that we must have an odd number of players left, maybe 19 players, so they can't actually balance the table yet.
Oh, there's the bullets again.
Wow. Probably, unless he gets a raise from Pot and Pan, or as you called them, Potato Man.
I think it was you that called them Potato Man and then denied it.
Excuse me. I don't think you know who I am, do you? Pot and Pan with Queen 7. So second pair for the Muppet, 2 pair for Jakers, and if Muppet makes a play at... What word did you just... No, we won't mention that.
All in from Jakers.
A7, 2 pairs against second pair, and Muppet unfortunately
We lose the
perished
Muppet.
against 2 pairs. I'm sorry about it. It's very difficult to concentrate here. There is cake being...
Serious cake eating going on.
Serious cake eating, yes.
Oh, it's my birthday. If there's one time that I'm allowed to eat cake live on telly,
and
it's tonight.
Jakers and Paul Ball are dominating this table. Short-handed play is very different from a full table. When there are only 5 on the table, the value of your hands change. What would normally be ace-king, you can treat as ace-10, ace-9, ace-8. What you would deal with as a pair of queens on a full table, you could probably say pair of 7s, pair of 8s on a 5-handed table. Don't forget to turn that dial. It changes the hand values when there's only 5 on the table and when the blinds are big.
Mm-hmm.
Don't speak with your mouth full, please, Michelle.
You've still got to try some.
Ace-8 for Pot and Pan. King 5. Nut flush, second flush draw for Paul 8 Ball. And a top pair for Pot and Pan. No hand for Jakers. Paul 8 Ball, I'd like to see him play this very strong. He can put Pot and Pan all in here, and he should. Get rid of Jakers. That's what he does. He does need to catch his heart, though. He won't pass. With this pot of 10,000, it's 3,000 to call into 10,000 pot. There you see, I said he won't pass, and
he didn't.
He did, actually.
Oh. I wasn't looking, sorry. Pair of jacks. Not much else out there, though, I'm afraid.
So, Thickhead with his jacks, is he getting the action? I suspect not. With blinds at 300, 600, he's okay. There's no need to press the panic button yet. A pot size raise would be about 2,000. So he's got a pot raise, he's even got a re-raise, or if he re-raises he will get called. Paul 8 Ball with 19,000, and we've got there's been some table balancing, so I fancy we are down to 16 players now. That's 2 full tables of 8. In fact, 1 full table of 8's only got 7 on. So seat 8 At Julie's, how do you pronounce that, Michelle?
Which one?
Seat 8. That's the
Ace
one.
Jules.
Ace Jules.
He's playing on Poker Night Pokeball.
Oh, he's one of our specials.
Mm-hmm.
That's on Friday of this week, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it is. I can't be here, unfortunately.
Oh, look at this.
Wow, Aces vs Kings. I can see some money going in.
All the chips are going to go in here, and unless Ace Jules gets lucky, Jacobs is going to double up. Neither is going to pass. Neither is going to pass here. It's how it's played. A raise, a sneaky call by Ace Jules, who's tried to trap. What does Jacobs do here? He puts another bet in. I think it's time for Ace Jules to... Ace Jules is called again. This is dangerous play.
Ooh.
He's still going to lose all his chips. He's let go.
Okay, well, we didn't see all of it go all in.
Well, how extraordinary.
But, yeah, very extraordinary. Now
How
we will
extraordinary.
be watching. It is very, very extraordinary. But we will be watching that throughout the night. So hopefully we'll see the final table a bit later on as well. So make sure you're here for that a bit later. We do have some emails actually before we carry on. So one here from Tango Man. Hi to you, Tango Man. He says, "Hello, Michelle. Happy birthday." Thank you very much. I've got some chocolate cake actually. It says, "I have calculated that my most profitable game is limit cash. Next is no limit cash, and I currently lose on average in tournaments. I also play a little pot limit, but haven't put enough hours in to judge my hourly rate. The daft thing is, I enjoy playing tournaments the most and put in far more hours than I do into cash games, but as I only lose 51 cents an hour, I consider this a good investment for a pleasurable hobby, excuse me. And also as a very reasonable fee for learning, an investment in my poker future. Thank you for a very instructive as well as entertaining programme. Hope to play you sometime on Beat the Presenter." Well, Tango Man, thank you very much for your email. What do you think about that email, TK?
Well, interesting email. Before we deal with that email, do you have...
Oh, have I got a bit of chocolate on my...
Could you lick your lips for us?
Is it gone?
Almost.
Okay.
Almost.
Oh, you answer the question. I'll try and...
Okay, there's a little bit.
Tasty.
Excellent question here from Michelle. Most profitable game is limit cash. Next is no limit cash, but lose a little on average in tournaments. Also play a little pot limit, but haven't put in enough hours to judge the rate. Daft thing is I enjoy playing tournaments the most and put in far more hours than I do in cash, but I only lose 51 cents an hour. I consider this a good investment for a pleasurable hobby, and also as a very, very reasonable fee for learning. What an excellent attitude, what an excellent attitude. Tournaments are great fun, much, much more fun than cash. Most people would say tournaments are very exciting, but it's cash for dough, tournaments for show. Winning a tournament gives you a buzz. There's huge variance in tournaments, but it is nice when you win a tournament. But very, very few people in the world can make money playing tournaments. They just can't. The variance is huge. Most people that are making money in poker are making it in cash. So the way you're playing this, I think, is absolutely spot on. You acknowledge that you make money in cash. You lose a little bit of money in tournaments, but it's the price you pay for enjoying yourself. That's an attitude I really, really like. You enjoy playing tournaments. Poker's not just money, poker's fun as well. And so you acknowledge that there's a bill to pay for that. You're actually subsidising your tournament poker from your cash winnings. Excellent way of looking at it. I hope more people do the same. Well done. Michelle, this is...
Carry on, TK. Ignore me.
Well, this...
We've got 45 seconds left. Oh, should we do a challenge? No, I really can't do that live on air. Right, I think I've already... Right, what? It's my birthday. Okay. Contact details. That's really good. Try a bit. Contact details. If you have anything you would like to ask, then here's the text number: 84222. Text the word poker and then your question. Or you can email poker@pokernightlive.co.uk. And I am very well aware that my sexability has just dropped to below 0.
Oh, it's gone up. It's gone up. Trust me. Trust me.
Join us in a minute. Goodbye. We'll be back. Good evening and welcome back to Poker Night Live.
We've had a clean-up. We've had a clean-up operation in here.
Seems I missed my mouth on a couple of occasions with the cake.
No comment.
Well, it was a very informative hour while I was playing, so thank you very much, Tikay, for your commentary over that Sit and Go tournament.
Yeah, I must say we've been a little frivolous tonight because it's Michelle's birthday.
Yeah.
I know from the forum that you do like some serious chat, and so we'll get a bit more serious the second half. We'll do some emails, we'll concentrate on the MTT and the cash games, and we'll get down to some serious lip-smacking business.
Yes, we will. I have an email from Matthew Lewis. He says, "Hi, good evening. Last night I was playing a $3 rebuy on PokerStars, and in just 4 hands I was chip leader with 24,000 chips. Not bad, I thought. It usually takes about 2 hours before I am in this comfortable position. Well, 3 hours on and I hadn't hit a single hand again, not even one ace high. Very, very strange. I started playing unusually stupid to my normal game, raising with silly hands and getting caught out. Well, in this situation, what should I have done? Carried on waiting or not? Thanks for your help." Tikay, what do you think?
Well, Matthew, nice email. There is a school of thought that says the key to success in tournament poker is 3 things: patience, patience, and patience. Many of the young nuns, the Bish Bash Boss Brigade, don't believe in that. They'll keep raising and raising and raising. But the fact is, if you haven't got the hands and your opponents won't put them down, there's no point raising with rubbish. You just got to wait till the hands come. If you want to play a Larry game, fine, play it. But don't play it out of frustration. If you've got the chips, the hands will come eventually. If they don't, then you're going to have to make a move. But the biggest advice I can give you in this situation is, I know it's frustrating. Just imagine if you hadn't got that big lump of chips early. You'd only just started, you was up to 24,000. Without those, you'd have perished very early. Gives you the ability, the luxury of being able to wait for hands. And the best advice I can give to anybody in tournament play is be patient.
Yes.
Nice email.
Thank you very much. We've also got an email here from Claw75. Hi there, Claw. He says, "Hi, Tikay."
Well, if I may say, Claw is a young lady.
Oh, a young lady. Another lady to join our... We're going to do a battle of the sexes.
Very good player indeed, if I may say so.
Oh, is she?
Very good player, yes. She won the Blonde Masterclass recently.
Oh, brilliant.
And she's now blazing a trail online, winning left, right and centre.
So I can nab her for our Battle of the Sexes tournament then?
I'm sure you can.
Excellent. Claw, email in. Well, she says, "Could you please give me some advice on playing small pairs? I usually call with these pre-flop in an unraised pot from any position, hoping to flop a set and folding to any bets on a flop with overcards. It seems as though doing this I'm just throwing away a lot of chips, especially late on in a tournament when the blinds are large. How do you play small pairs, and is auto-folding pre-flop a reasonable strategy?" She says, "P.S. May I say how handsome you look tonight in your crimson jacket, Tikay."
See, what colour she called it?
Crimson.
Crimson. What did you call it?
Raspberry. Well, it's actually plum, isn't it?
It's plum, yes. But thank you very much. Thank you very much.
She says happy birthday as well, thank you.
Right, small pairs. The answer, as ever, is it depends. It just depends. In many cases, when the blinds are small, yes, call to take a flop. You're around 7 or 8 to 1 to hit a set. If you hit a set, chances are you're going to win the hand. But once the blinds get a little bigger, you cannot keep calling because you're going to burn chips. A well-known player of my acquaintance plays these quite interesting. If he gets them in early position, he'll limp. And there's a raise behind him, he'll check raise, which indicates a very, very big hand indeed. It indicates great strength. But you need some nerve to do that, and I'm not sure that it's a play that is successful except in the very, very best hands. So the short answer is, early in a tournament when the blinds are playable, yeah, call to see them. As you get the blinds get a little bigger, then look at position. If you're in late position, then either call or put a raise in, see if you can take the pot there and then. Don't be limping in early position once the blinds get reasonable. When it gets short-handed, then these are bigger than they look. But it's a very difficult thing, a very, very difficult hand to play. Just depends on position, what stage of the tournament it is, how many chips you've got, what sort of table is it, a passive table, aggressive table, are people believe in you, have you got solid image? Lots and lots of answers to that, just depends on so many things. But you know what you're doing, it's a feel thing. Essentially, once you get past the early stages of the tournament, you're 7 or 8 to 1 to hit your set. You can't afford to burn chips by keep calling. Raise or get out the way.
Thank you. I hope that answered your question, Claw. And quickly, we've got an email from Snakey. He says, happy birthday, thank you. She says, yes, my name is Joan, and I do live in Braintree, and I do not lie.
Well,
there we have it.
There we go. That was your neighbour.
She is round the corner.
You called her a fibber, I believe.
I said she could have been lying. It's different. I knew you weren't. Well, do you know what time it is?
Beat the presenter time?
Yes, it's time to learn how to play the game of poker.
I wonder how you got on.
Let's have a look. I think I did well. I did get some good birthday cards, but I think I actually felt, when you come away from a game and you think, I think I played that well. That's how I felt.
Yes. Well, that's good. That's what we want.
Well, Buffy be good there. You sent me the flowers. Thanks, Buff. And the chocolates, which I haven't eaten yet because I'm a bit full of cake.
So, Chip Nurse.
There I am, seat 1.
Chip Nurse. What a wonderful name.
Yes, because I look after all the chips. Nurture them.
And why are you normally called Night Nurse?
Well, I'll tell you, when I very first started on the programme, I worked every night for a week, and I worked most of that week with Dr. Tom, and we decided to let the viewers decide on names. And so everyone was coming with things like Blonderfish and things like that. And someone texted in, and we did a competition for the end of the night, and somebody said it has to be Dr. Tom and the Night Nurse. And it sounded so well.
Doctor and the Nurse?
Yes.
Yes.
Because I was working with Dr. Tom all week. So it became Dr. Tom and the Night Nurse. And then it just stuck for forever, and I've always used it ever since.
Wow.
See, it's nice to tell a little story of how you got your name.
I had a vote on my site. They wanted to call me the Master.
The Master?
Yeah, I don't know why.
I'd have a guess. Well, my dad's the governor.
So, you've got Jack 3 here. You're not going to do anything here, are you? That's silly.
Nope.
Are you a rock?
I had been known to play very tight because I was taught mainly by Dr. Tom at the beginning.
Yeah.
So I took on his style of being a bit of a rock. But recently I've learned to loosen up a little bit and play a bit more tricky. I kind of went through the stages from when I first started, and I only ever played the cards. And then I started to try different hands and started to learn which hands worked or not. I started to try. I never bluffed for ages. I never bluffed for months. It took me ages to get my bluffing head on.
When you bluff someone and it's successful, what do you feel?
It feels wonderful.
Isn't it lovely? It's the second
It's
nicest
brilliant
feeling in the world, isn't it?
Should I ask you what the first nicest is, or should we move on?
Well, I don't know the honest answer. I can't remember.
But it does feel wonderful when you bluff.
It's a lovely feeling. When you get a bluff through, it really is a nice buzz.
I do generally try and bluff with outs, so it's usually a semi bluff for me.
And in position?
Yes, I do. Although we did an experiment a few weeks ago that a lot of people on the forum were saying that I was playing tight and it was getting boring how tight I was. So I said, okay, tonight I'm going to be the loosest goose in the world and I'm going to raise ridiculously and bluff all the time. And I ended up coming third. Because they all respected me so much, because I usually played tight, everyone was folding to all of my
Played
raises.
on your image.
It was wonderful. So now I'm chopping and changing a lot more than I ever used to.
That's good, mixing it up.
Yeah. Now, there was a couple of moments on this where you'll see me not acting, not doing anything, and it was because I was busy eating cake.
So when you're at home and you're not doing the gardening or your embroidery, do you play online poker?
I do, yes. I do quite a lot. I played in a multi-table tournament the other day and come fourth and won $180.
Wow, well done. Nice buzz, that.
It was brilliant. It was great getting to the final table. I was playing for about 5 hours there. So
at the loose stage here, the blinds are only 10, 20. You're not bothered. You're not getting any hands, but you're not bothered.
Nope, because it is. We all started with just 1,000 chips.
What did you think of the play of Johan Harum?
Well, I know Johan Harum to be a bit of a trickster anyway.
He's a good player.
And there was a couple of times where I raised him back, actually, because I knew he was going to be trying some tricks. And I was quite proud of them. In
the short time I've been here, I've watched him on the cash games and seems to know his way around. Tricky customer, as you say.
But it's great to watch it back. It really is. To be able to, because I've only just played in it, I can remember all the hands and what I was feeling and thinking at the time. So seeing what people actually have, it's a wonderful tool to learn. I've learned so much from watching these Beat the Presenters.
So I've had an orbit. You've posted 2 blinds, you're small and you're big, and you've done nothing else.
Nope.
You've just been waiting.
I was doing a lot of chatting.
Yeah, you was doing a lot of shoveling as well.
Chatting and shoveling.
This is good for you this hand because you're not going to be involved, I assume.
No.
And at least 2 people are. There's been a raise with King Queen.
Oh, would I have set that?
And yes, King Queen has picked up a huge hand, second nut flush draw. Ace Queen has got nothing. He's actually winning at the moment though.
Yes, with the ace, the high card.
If another heart was to come, I'm afraid all the chips would go in.
Now, Skits is calling here. I'm assuming he's calling because he's got 2 overcards. He's hoping to hit an ace or a queen.
Yeah, I think this is bad play. I think he should get out of the way or raise. Now, as it happens, a raise would not push Thickhead off, I don't think. Thickhead has missed. Skits is going to bet, I suspect. Thickhead 40. Well, 40 into a 340 pot. And Thickhead passes. But to be fair, Thickhead only had king high. What the Thickhead could do in that situation is the weak bet indicated that Skitsy had a weak hand or no hand, in fact ace high. So what Thickhead looks to be doing there is a re-raise to take the pot. Clearly it's not going to, if we're going to have the hands on their backs, it's not likely to be winning. But a re-raise would have got him that pot, I fancy. Well, everybody except you see an action here.
Yeah, well, I was a bit busy with other things at the beginning, so you don't see me do much for the first 5 or 10 minutes, but then I start getting into it after that.
What sort of things was you busy with?
I was chatting to everybody,
You
they were all
was
wishing me happy
stuffing.
birthday, and I was stuffing my face with cake.
So King Queen suited for RNC 8885. Ace 9 top pair for Skitsy. Ace Jack for Bala. And again we see someone calling with overcards, hoping to hit. And it's very easy to sit here and be critical when we can see other players' hands and you can't. But I have to say, keep calling with overcards, not an overpair, overcards. It's going to burn chips away. I really feel the right play is either to re-raise or to pass. Just keep calling, being passive is not a good thing, I'm afraid. So, you now got ace king suited. What do you do here?
Put in a bet, because it's not a made hand, so I'm happy to raise it up.
Yeah,
And
you've
thin
made
field.
it just under a pot raise. You walk into a small pair. You don't know this, of course.
Nope.
Oh,
Look at that.
dear me. Do flops come any better? There's
So I
no
thought I'd
danger
be a
for
little
a flush.
little tricky and
There's
try and
no
get him to
danger
bet
from a
at me.
flush. It's just wonderful. There's a flush draw now, but oh, wouldn't you love to see an 8 here if you did but know it?
So I only get 40 out of him. But I did get 40, which is more than I would have got if I'd made a bet
Flopped the
with
nuts.
myself. Nice.
You spongy monkey.
It's my birthday hand. What did you call me? A spongy monkey?
Wow.
Is that a technical term?
Yeah, it's a professional term.
So I was quite pleased with that first hand.
Gosh, I think you were.
I didn't really get paid much for it though. It'd be good if he'd had 2 pair or something.
Good for your image as well, because you showed you were playing with a good hand. It was a showdown at the end.
Yep.
So everything's good about that. Now we've got queens against sevens against ace king. This is going to get bloody, I feel.
Oh, this must be the hand for Buffy be good. 'Cause I
Buffy
missed
be
it.
good. I can't fancy Buffy be good is going to put these queens down. Is that a re-raise? Yes, that's all in. The ace king
Ooh,
will
and
call
there's the
because
ace.
that's the way they play online, always.
So poor old Buffy.
And it always seems very unfair when you've got a massive hand like jacks or queens and somebody calls with ace king and catches their card. But it's the nature of the game. And so
So he's only got 20 left.
Buffy hasn't quite disappeared, but this really is chip and chair stuff.
Can be quite a comeback if he can pull back from 20. Sorry,
To be
Buff.
fair, in a fairly fast-structured tournament such as this, I don't think moving all in with ace king every hand is necessarily the right play. I think I did it last week in the tournament and come to no good from it. But when it's a fast structure, you're going to have to gamble a little. Gamble they did and won. You have to win your races to win these tournaments. You've got to get into the race, you've got to win it. And the only way you can survive if you lose races is if you've got a nice deep stack.
This was difficult for me, actually, TK.
You've got a pair of 6s here.
It was difficult for me this hand, though, because I'm under the gun. I'm in an awful position. If I raise with it, it's a lot to ask that no one's going to re-raise behind me or have something better. I've got no information about anybody. If I limp, it's still a lot to ask that no one else is going to raise me. But in the end, I decided just to give it a limp and see what happened and hope maybe to see a flop with it.
Well, I think in that position at this stage, probably a wise play. As it happens, Johan's a strong player with a pair of 7s. I guess you put this down, do you?
Yep.
I think the right thing to do.
And Johan...
And flops are set. And you'd have thought on that flop, if you'd taken a flop, you'd have thought you was winning, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would have put in a lot of money there.
You wouldn't have put anybody on the 7.
So he did me a favour.
Poor
old Buffy goes,
Poor Buffy, who had a nice stack 2 hands ago, then picks up aces when he's only got 20 chips.
Poor old Buff.
And loses. Jack 7 suited. I guess Johan's going to raise into you here.
Probably, he usually does.
You're going to do the sensible thing and lay down?
Yeah. Because I don't have much there. But I've taken into account I'm taking into account how many times he's stealing from me.
Yeah,
and I know that at one point I will be coming back at him.
Eventually you're going to catch him. You hope.
Mr. Johan.
Right, now what did we do?
I think I was talking to you. This was the one where I forgot.
No, you was eating cake.
I was being busy, so I think I left them, and so they were saying, Michelle, what are you doing? And then I sit out the next hand, I think. I quickly tried to come in right at the end before I ran out of time.
Oh, you got timed out, did you?
Yeah, I got timed out because I didn't realise it was my go because I was busy, which was really naughty of me.
Your go. You did not realise it was you to act.
Oh, I did get dealt, so I got back, because it sits you out, so I must have clicked the I'm back button quick enough to get back in there. But that's really annoying when people get timed out, so I know how annoying that is. But I am on a live TV programme, to be fair.
Yep. And it is your birthday. In fact, is it your birthday?
It's not anymore, so no more special treatment.
By coincidence. It's my birthday today.
Is it? It's not, is it?
I can't believe you don't believe me. Thickhead with King Queen.
I got you a cake.
And a spade.
Ooh.
Oh, how unlucky is that? Our friend Johan takes it down. Thickhead departs. You sat there. You haven't done anything really. You've done nothing wrong. You've done nothing right. You've sat there.
Yep.
And we're now down to 6.
Yep.
So that's always
because
nice.
I'm not desperate yet, so I can play my usual game and wait and see what happens. And as the blinds start rising, if nothing's going on, I'll start trying to do some special
When you're playing a big MTT and there's 200 runners, it's always nice to see that after 2 levels you look at it and suddenly there's only 120 runners.
Yeah, it does feel
and
good,
you haven't done
it?
anything. You say, well, they're all out and I'm still in. So that's a nice feeling. Keep looking at the field in an MTT, see how it's progressing, see how your stack is going. And, use these little psychological tricks.
Yep.
You've got good image now because you haven't been involved. You've played one hand which was shown, the Ace-King, where you flop the nuts.
Yep.
So when you make a raise, the good players around the table, and there are several here, should respect you. So at some stage you might be able to get a move through.
Yeah. Picking your moment.
Ginger and Johan both deduced that neither had any of that flop. They had a little steal and re-steal battle.
I was going to raise here and I accidentally folded because I was being really naughty and doing something else. And this is another bad point for me. I shouldn't be mucking about. I should be concentrating.
Well, it was your birthday, but this was like Claw's question, wasn't it?
Small pair.
A small pair in early position. Well, she didn't say in early position. She had a small pair. And there's no clean answer to it, but a small pair in early position, you can only keep calling for so long.
Yeah.
With these blinds, maybe, see a flop, but You need to put a limit on how many times you do it.
With the twos though, I would have raised because I'm in early position because, like you said,
it indicates strength.
It indicates strength. They're not going to think I'm doing it with rubbish,
Yeah.
and also I've got the solid image.
The other way you can do it is limp, wait for the raise behind and re-raise, but it's a bit of a cheek clenching job because then the whole play is dependent on the opponent putting the hand down.
Yeah.
If the opponent comes back over the top, you've got to be prepared to let that hand go. And in a competition like this, it's probably not a suitable play, to be fair.
Well, Johan's picked the wrong moment to try and steal.
Right, you woke up with a hand, you've had enough. And he gets the message. You're in a race now.
I meant to put him all in, but I missed it by 20, so I then had to just call for the 20.
Well, it's just cross your fingers. And if no ace or king, we have a double up, and here it is.
And RNC goes out.
So, one less, you double,
Happy with that.
1800. That makes you chip second.
And then I get an ace-queen. Look at this.
Oh, dear.
What
Oh,
were
a
you
little
gonna
ace
do?
behind you. You're on the button, so standard play here?
Yeah, standard raise 3 times, I think I did. From 120, yeah. And lucky for me, I was hoping it would look like a steal and they might come back at me with
You
not
can
such a
save
good hand.
You can save a little bit on chips. You're raising 3 times the big blind. You can actually raise a little less and get the same answer. Now, I
Yeah.
don't know if you were to put this hand down in any circumstances, but if it was a marginal hand, which you was prepared to put there, say it was ace jack or ace 10,
Yeah.
a hand that you would pass to a re-raise, you can actually raise a little less.
Maybe what, like 100 or?
Yeah, 90 even.
Yeah.
90, 95, 100, 110, and you'd get the same answer. Somebody's got a big hand, they would come back at you. And so you've saved 20 or 30 chips. Do that 3 or 4 times as the blinds escalate, the numbers escalate. It's amazing what you can save.
Oh, that's a good tip, tip.
All I'm saying to you it does is that you're going to get the same answer whether you raise 2.5
So I don't need to
times a big
jeopardise
blind or
as
3
much.
times. So a little less would do. It doesn't tell them much, the fact that you raise slightly less than 3 big blinds. But you find out for less money.
Yeah.
It's value.
Oh, this is the one. I knew Johan Harron was making a play at me with his 8-9. I knew he was stealing here.
He's a very good player, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's all the more impressive to see what hands he's playing with.
The only thing was, is because he'd tried to steal so often,
Yeah,
it was
eventually.
relatively easy for me to do a re-raise here and take his 200. I mean, he could have been sitting there with a
your
great
judgment
hand.
here,
but
don't you? Because
I probably wouldn't have been able to do that if I was lower on
Correct.
chips.
Correct.
It's only because I had the
That
more chips I
double
was
up.
able to.
the double up, when you have to re-evaluate when you double up. Now you can play different. Now you can bully. Good evening. My name is Michelle. Tonight I shall be your table captain. Yeah? I shall bully. You like bully, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Give me the captain's hat with the stripes. I like being in charge. So I'm quite happy now with 2000. So I think, right, I've been involved in quite a few hands recently, so I don't need to get jiggy with anything right now.
It's 5-handed. Blinds are 40-80. You've got 24 big blinds. The average is 1600. So that's 20 big blinds. You're in nice shape. And I'm talking about the poker competition, of course.
Of course. Five left.
In a way, I mean, it's a difficult seat now that you're behind Johan, because I can't imagine he gives you too many walks in the blinds, and he gives you a rough time. But you've got his number as well. You've got enough chips to play back at him, and so in a way, a bad seat's a good seat, because if you had a passive person behind you, there's no chips to be won. When the guy, when Johan raised it up with the 8-9, and you decided he was at it, because, you know, 8-6 is ace-6, which you have, was not that much of a hand.
Yeah.
But you made a judgment. So you've actually picked some chips up there because you've got a good player sat to your right.
Yeah, definitely.
So it does help to have a good player there.
So I'm expecting a raise, but I'm quite happy to let them have it if they do. It's nice to make your decisions before it gets to you. Nice and easy. 24 Ginger went for it. And he had it. So well done for your little steal with your 10-5.
So far, you know, when you make this bluff, I mean, the ace-6 was really a bluff, wasn't it? It's not much of a hand.
No.
But it was what you said to me earlier. When you have a bluff, you have an insurance policy in place. You do have some sort of hand.
Yeah.
You've got a suited ace. You've got some sort of hand there. Probably on a 5-handed table, it's not a bad hand.
Yep.
So it minimises the risk you was taking.
Yeah, unless you're absolutely desperate, I don't see the need to bluff completely with absolutely terrible hands. You can usually wait for an opportunity to make a bluff.
It depends on the situation. You know, we can get rid of chips when we haven't got any hands. We can get rid of chips by bluffing when we don't need to. You don't need to bluff at the moment. You can wait and see a couple of players bust out, and then we're going to see your heads-up prowess.
Not much going on here. We get the skits going for the steal. It works. 5-8 under the gun. No, thank you. So the blinds have just gone up to 81.60.
Skips might make a play here with his Jack King, I fancy. Yep.
Just double.
1-1. Hard to see anybody defending this, although Johan being Johan might have a dash at it, but he's not really in position to do much. He could play a stop and go there where he calls and then bets out. So now we're going to see a test, I think, because unless Ginger makes a move.
So Johan folded to me that time because
gave
I'd
you a
re-raised
walk
him
because
before.
Because you'd slapped him.
Yeah, I told him off.
You told him off, you sent him a message, so he let it go. But when people keep giving you a walk, if he was to do that 3 times, gives you a walk, and then he limps, then you're worried, aren't you?
Do you know what? That's exactly what happens, though. Wait,
Wow.
if this happens,
Well,
it's so funny you should say that. You knew exactly what he was going to do, and you didn't know that.
I didn't.
You are poker psychic. I don't know when, but he does do it. I think it must be the next time.
When I'm getting a bit thin on chips, which is quite a lot, I'll often give the big blind a walker for a couple of rounds and then raise with nothing, because they know that when I've had no hand, I've passed. So they assume that now I've either limped or raised, I've got some sort of hand.
Yeah.
So it can pay off. Now you're going to see action.
This was difficult for me, this hand. I had to really think about this. And you'll see why in a minute. Because there's a big raise from Johan. And I really wasn't sure. I sat there for ages trying to decide what to do.
I don't know what happened, but I bet you passed this.
I did, yeah.
Well, I have to say, I think that's the right play.
Yeah?
I think Ace-Jack is a hand that you can bet with first to speak. But it's not a re-raise hand unless you think the player will put his hand down. If you can't be sure he'll put his hand down, it's not beating much, is it?
No.
And it's in very, very poor shape against Ace-King, Ace-Queen. First to speak, yeah, get a raise in with it, but once the re-raise comes back, difficult hand to play. I'd say so, yes.
Because I mean, Johan could have been raising with so many different hands, but I thought, I might as well wait and hope for a better opportunity.
I think it was a good pass.
But hopefully I'll take this. Although this surprises me because I'm pretty sure Ginge puts this down and he's got a King Jack. A lot of people would. So that, again must be my table image, Ginge putting a hand down.
They obviously don't notice you. Wow.
This is the one, so but luckily obviously for me I've got Ace King, so it makes it an easy play. But
nobody makes a move when you're here, do they?
Oh no, he did exactly what you said, he limped. But because he limped, it got me thinking. If I hadn't had an ace,
limped with?
Yeah, if I hadn't had the Ace King, I would have been very worried about what he had there. But luckily, because I had the Ace King, it's quite easy for me to put in a big bet, and I needed to make it big to make sure he put his hand down.
Nice play.
But yeah, it's so funny you should say, because that's exactly what he did. He limped in. And if I was just lucky that I was sat there with the Ace King, because I really wouldn't have known where I stood if I hadn't had a bigger hand.
So 1,600 is still the average stack. You've got 2,400, blinds at 81.60. So you've got exactly, assuming you had 2400, you've got exactly 15 big blinds against an average of exactly 10 big blinds. 50% above average, nice and comfortable. It's all been plain sailing, this, isn't it? Have you got a man that pulls the lever, or do you know the deal?
Like I said, it's because it's my birthday. It's going in my way. And I felt good in this tournament. When I sat down, and Casper speaks a lot about this, positive thinking. When I sat down in the tournament, I felt good. I was glad to be playing in it, and I just had a good outlook on the whole tournament. And I felt like I wanted to raise, and I wanted to do things, and I was getting good cards every now and then, and I was quite happy. People seemed to be doing what I wanted them to do. If I made a raise, they seemed to be folding. So it was a good feeling over the whole game, and it does make a huge difference to your play, I think.
Yep, confidence is all. Well, Ginger's moved all in with 6-7. Worried about the blinds. Very difficult decision this for Johan, because if he calls this and misses,
Wow,
he doesn't know that he's in great shape because he's dominating, and he's got a straight draw and a flush draw. He's all over Ginger here, and it's good night Ginger, I'm afraid. Not the easiest of calls for Johan there, because of his chip size and because of what was in the pot and the hand he had. But he made a good decision and the right decision.
I'm extremely pleased with Ace King.
This is Ace King. We've been playing for 4 rounds, I think. It's the 19th time you've had Ace King.
It's not, it's the second.
Third?
Is it the third?
At least third, yes.
Well, I've been 800, Skits went all in on me.
Well, you're not going to pass, I don't fancy.
No, but I felt like I'd do a bit of a dramatic...
Oh, there's a dramatic pause.
Dramatic pause.
Once he's got all his chips in, it doesn't make a lot of difference, does
I
it?
know, but I thought it was funny. I think
I'll make him sweat.
Make him sweat a bit and then call. I even put, in the chat box.
And
Yay, and
you
there's
like
my
this
ace.
flop.
Lovely for me.
Yeah, you're in good shape here.
Wonderful.
Oh, you got both pairs.
Insult to injury.
So,
Look at
chip
me.
leader. Now you can push the boys around.
Look at me go. Now, yeah, this is the thing. It's like, right, I can start raising all the time here, but I don't want to start doubling people up for no reason. So
yeah, you're absolutely right. You know, you double a short stack up and they become a pain in the side. You know, just pick your situations very carefully.
Yeah, if I let him have that one. And I've put in just the right amount to take Ballas all in. I figured I've got an ace in my hand. The likelihood, it's him sat there on the big blind, he could have anything.
Yeah, at the end of the day, can't kill you.
No.
Good play. Now he's in trouble. Whatever happens here, I see Ballard moving in.
Yeah.
And Johan is, I would say, going to have to call. It's going to cost him 360 to call or something like that, a little less, a little more. Well, he's behind.
Yeah, don't you hate it when the
Got a
small
gut
stack
shot now
doubles
as well.
up? It's really annoying.
Wasn't enough. Doubled up Ballard. You're sitting over there saying, good luck, Johan, aren't you? Because you want this poor fellow or lady to be knocked out.
Now, I really had to think about this hand because, like I say, Johan's so tricky a player and this really would damage my stack. But with the king-queen, I thought he so could easily have a high ace.
Yep, three-handed. It's a very, very difficult call, this.
So, as you can see, it took me quite a while to try and decide what to do.
I think you might call because it's Johan. Johan can make the move with his hand.
That's exactly why.
Because it's him. And what a beautiful flop. Top pair.
I got two pair again.
And second nut flush draw. And you turn 2 pair. But it didn't matter how it played because all the chips were in. But
2 months ago I would have folded that easily.
Yeah, the play you made there, I mean, it's, a difficult hand to call with, but you made it because of the player.
Yeah.
You've been studying the players. You've been watching how they played. This guy's been busy. And the worry is that you're going to walk into some sort of ace here, even a small ace, and you're behind, you've got to hit.
Yeah.
But you made your judgment that this guy's not going to sit and bleed to death. He is going to make a move.
Yeah.
And you made a very, very brave call.
And with the king 5, again, I thought for ages with the king 5 because I thought he's in such dire straits here, he will move with pretty much anything. And I thought I've got live cards, I'm going to call him this time because it won't kill me.
Yep. You've got an up and down and big flush.
I got my flush.
You caught your flush.
I won,
Lovely. I can't give any comments on a heads-up play. I have a reputation for heads-up play, which is not favourable.
Oh, really?
I've got to tell you, yeah.
Why is that?
Because some people think I'm rubbish. and they're not wrong, I can tell you. They're not wrong.
Sure
But that's I have to say, I don't know how to phrase it. Oh, this is the victory dance.
The victory dance, which is really hard to do sitting down because there's a bit of a bum part to the dance as well, which you can't do in a chair.
Well,
I'm sure
the viewers will be quite willing to see you stand up and do that.
So I won on Monday night as well.
You've had several good results, haven't you?
I've been in the money 8 times and out of the money 7 times.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
On Beat the Presenter.
To be ever so serious, I mean, one doesn't want to sound condescending or patronising. I can't see that you played a hand wrong there.
Oh, excellent.
From my perspective, I do play. I used to play a great deal of sit and goes, and we all have our technique, we all have our ways, and it's like people. You've never met a person who says they're a bad driver, have you? They all think they're good drivers. Well, we all think we can play sit and goes pretty well. But I couldn't really see a single decision you made there that I could quarrel with. Oh. It helps to see the other hands.
Yes.
It helps a great deal. But based on what we saw, you had no evidence of the other hands. I don't think you put a foot wrong, not a single hand. Every decision was right. And the important thing is that little bit of backbone that you showed when it was important. When Johannes made a move on you at the end, he made a move in you earlier. You re-raised him at ace-6, which is not a re-raising hand, but it was a judgment decision. And then at the end, very brave call, big cheek clencher with king-queen, because he's only got ace-deuce, ace-3.
I was sure I was looking at an ace there, but like you say, because of what I know about him, that's what made my decision in the end.
Well, I don't want to be blowing smoke up your arse, but there was everything about that was good.
I'm quite happy to hear it.
Everything about that was good. I can't fault it.
Well, do you know what my play? A lot of people have been commenting like the last couple of months. My play has improved beyond measure from watching myself play. Being able to see my mistakes, being able to see what hands I was up against, has been paramount to how my play has come along recently.
I think that's the value of this part of the programme, and it would be very nice if we could see more of it, because there isn't any situation that I'm aware of where we can sit at home and analyse a tournament or a table we've played, seeing everybody's hole cards. I've seen all sorts of poker in all sorts of shapes and forms, in all sorts of ways and places. What I've never seen is where we can see everybody's cards, every hand, as it plays.
Yeah.
You can get hand histories out and recreate it and do all sorts of things. That is a real fabulous learning tool.
It's a brilliant learning tool, and this is why the programme works so well, because it's there. And even to our players that play very often, they for them as well. It's hard to play when people know your style, and you do have to chop and change your style a lot more. But you do learn so much.
As one of the blondes would say, you're rubbish, which is code for you're the dogs.
But don't say, Casper, I'm on Casper's tails, you see, because he's first in the Beat the Presenters, and I'm second. I'm catching up on him.
What a splendid chap.
Yes, he is, lovely. He likes a little joke. Casper. Right, well, after all that excitement, what do you reckon? How long have we got? Well, got enough time for a cash game, I think, a little bit of a cash game, maybe?
Yes, plenty.
Oh, you know what? I'm liking you, TK.
You're liking me? Michelle, it's mutual. We're doing all right. I have to say you're a bit of a handful, but...
More than a handful's enough.
No, let's move on.
Queen 10, look at that. Nothing to hit. 5 is winning.
So, this is a 25-cent, 50-cent cash game. And let's make the assumption that the maximum pull-up being the amount that you can bring to the table, there's always a maximum online, or usually there's a maximum online, certainly at this level, is $50.
Yep.
And so we can see that K Hodjo 5 has got $105. Robo Squirrel must have been running over the table, and Squirrel's had a lot of nuts here because he's got $259, $260.
Doing very well.
That's huge. There's a McTavish, which I believe to be a Scottish name, $48. And let's assume that Morrison has just sat down, because Morrison's got exactly $50. Stamper USA we saw earlier on, got quite an interesting game. Morrison we know to have a good game. I know Robo Squirrel, I know from this program Robo Squirrel.
There's that pair of
Saki.
twos. Snaky there again.
Snaky, I'm sorry, which is actually Joan from
Yep, from
Braintree.
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 Oh, so no one's hit this flop. We've got the scary pair of
What we
twos.
say no one's hit it.
Oh no, the queen's hit, sorry.
Except for top pair, king kicker.
Yes, I missed that. Be interesting to see what our players do with these pairs that we were talking about earlier.
Yes. The small pairs.
Yeah.
It's a very difficult, Claw's bright enough to know that that's a question that's going to leave me with egg on my face because it's such a difficult one to answer, and it's a really, really very good question. I hope that some of the more experienced presenters will have a bash at it, but really, I just hope that they do say it depends on so many things. Look at Robo
Well, it
Squirrel
does,
here.
yeah, flopping the nuts.
Wow, and Stamper thinks he's winning because he's got queens on an 8-high flop.
Those hearts will probably save him though, won't they?
And Snaky has got ace queen with the queen of hearts. Thinks it's a hand that can be bullying with.
Robo's loving this.
Isn't it? The only thing Robo doesn't want to see now is a paired board, and that is a pretty good turn card.
Look at this
River
pot.
card. That is a pretty good river card. So the queens have still got an overpair. The ace queen has got overs to the board. Robo Squirrel had the nuts. This pot's huge.
It's just all in Robo
And I don't
Squirrel.
think Stamper can get away from this.
He's shouting flush at Stamper, has been since the flop. And he can't get away from his queens.
Well, got maximum value there, and played it nicely. But it has to be said sometimes the hands play themselves. When you flop the nuts on a jack-high board against a pair of queens and ace queen, then you're going to get paid. So
Yeah.
Robo done nothing wrong at all, but they were shoveling chips at him in the same way that he was shoveling cake in your mouth.
Nice analogy. Oh, trip aces for Hodge. Doesn't look like he's going to get paid though. I mean, I can see him playing this tricky. There's a full house. Sorry, look,
Yeah.
ace nines.
Flop 2 pair, turn the house. Not quite the nuts, but not far off it.
Now, oh no, that doesn't make sense. He's trying to pick a figure to put in that will get paid, isn't he? There.
Yes. Sometimes it's too good. Sometimes the board comes when you think it's perfect. Oh, I've got the nuts. I've got a house. I've got a flush. Sometimes you think it's perfect, and it's too good because you can't get any action. It happens a lot when you get quads. People say I got quads or a roll flush. I've never got paid. Generally, you don't, because there's nothing for the other person to bite at. So you prefer it's a bit more edgy. That your hand's not that strong, but it's winning.
I had.
Now you can get paid.
Yeah, with quads once I was the luckiest person in the world. I decided to call with a 2-3. I thought I'm going to call. No, it was an ace 2, sorry. And I thought I'll limp in here because I was on the button. I thought I'll limp in with the ace 2, and. So my finger was ready on the call, and my phone went, and it was a text. So I went to answer it, called my go, didn't realise he'd raised it about 7 times the big blind. So I was like, no, I've just called a huge raise with ace 2. The flop comes 2-2-2, and he's got a pair of aces in his hand. Now, of course, he never puts me on a 2. He doesn't think I've got a 2 in my hand. How can I possibly have a 2 in my hand? Because I've called a $7 bet on a 15-cent, 25-cent table. So he paid me his whole stack, and he had more than me, so I doubled through on this poor guy.
He cannot put his hand down, can he?
Of course he can't.
He's got deuces over aces. I mean, there's no passing.
And
Just imagine if the other ace had come, but it wouldn't make any difference because all the chips were going anyway, wouldn't it?
Yeah, they were, and I did feel sorry for him. I did feel sorry for him.
You are a lucky fish S. What's a lady fish called?
I have no idea. Is it different? They're just fish, aren't they?
Oh no, they have manfish and ladyfish.
Yeah.
Well, of course they do.
Try Google it. Try and find out. Firm fish, I'm being told.
Yeah, I think we have to go to specific species of fish. Say, carp. Trout. I think it's a troutess. Yes. Female trout. What? Oh my goodness! Don't go there. I have to tell
Okay,
you.
Google female trout and have a
No,
look
don't.
at
Don't go there. This is live, and I cannot tell you what's just happened. Move on. Here we have ace 4 for McTavish, nut flush draw, third pair for IRLD, and fourth pair for DVN. Everybody's got a bit of something, but McTavish likes his hand a lot. He's got an overcard and a nut flush draw.
Mm-hmm.
And DVN hasn't really got enough of the hand to give any value, so McTavish takes the pot the best way without seeing the showdown, because he hadn't hit yet. If he misses his card on the end, he's going to be in a lot of trouble.
Do remember, if you have any questions or comments, you can text them into us. The text number is 84222. Here it comes. Text the word poker and your question to 84222. It's £1 for 4. And you can email poker@pokernightlive.co.uk. Would you like to hear from you?
So the cash game continues, 25-cent, 50-cent cash game. We've got Robo in seat 1 who's had that extraordinary hand, flopping the nuts against 2 hands that really couldn't pass. So he sat there on a $50 sit-down table with 380 bucks. And here we have Queen 8 against Jack 10, top pair against second pair. Really, it's one-way traffic at the moment. Robo Squirrel's actually had a very good night.
Oh, there's a small pair for us to look at.
Actually, I'm looking at 2 small pairs.
Oh, yes, we have the 7s as well. So the first is on the big blind.
No, the small blind.
A small blind. It's getting late. I've had far too much cake. Can't see. My sight's failing. Now this changes with small pairs if there's a pair on the board, doesn't it? Because you have 2 pair and one's hidden.
Yes, the chances of someone catching a jack is less, so you've now got 2 pair. But if they have caught the jack, they've got a massive hand, haven't they?
Yeah.
They've got trips. The fact is, pocket 7s, pocket 5s, nobody likes a king jack flop, do they? They wanted a sort of raggy, taggy, all over the place, garbage flop. And the worst hand took that, really.
Well, I really enjoyed that last hour, I have to say.
It's not gone, is it?
Yeah, doesn't the time fly when you're having fun? I've got a question for you from Red Dog.
Red Dog?
Yeah, Red Dog.
Oh.
He says, I've got a question for TK. You said earlier that it was cash games for dough, tourneys for show. I only play tourneys. Does this mean I'm doomed to fail? Happy birthday, Michelle. Save me some of the chocolate cake. Well, there's not much left, but, you know, I'll do my best. Is it doomed to fail?
Well, what I think I said, or what I hope I said, is very, very few players can make a profit at tournaments. And let's be serious now. We were talking about this earlier. The reality is very, very few people can make money at tournaments. It's an exceptional skill. Really, what the earlier writer said was, I make money at cash, and then I go and spend it on tournaments because I consider that's our fun. And Tom does it slightly different. Red Dog's real name is Tom McCready. And Tom does it slightly different. He makes a lot of money in tournaments online. And he does make a lot of money in tournaments online. A very exceptional skill to have. Very, very few people do that. And he then invests that in live tournaments. The dream for all of us is to play live tournaments. Live poker is just wonderful. Tom's a people person. He loves getting out into casinos. But he's a very, very rare animal in that he does make a lot of money. Yesterday, to my knowledge, he entered a 160 run a tournament at 2 o'clock this morning and came 4th, and he entered a $500 tournament earlier in the day and come 10th or 12th.
Oh, well,
extraordinary player.
Brilliant. We are going to a break now. We do have a couple of emails. We will do them when we come back. So don't go anywhere, and TK and I will return after this. Good morning. Welcome back to Poker Night Live with Michelle and TK. And what a good night it's been as well, I
It's
think.
gone very fast.
It
Very
has.
fast indeed. You're great fun.
And we've had a lot of good information from yourself as well about game of poker.
I don't know about that. I've had a lot of cake.
Had a rather large amount of cake. There's not actually
There is an
much
expression in
left.
poker, you know, called caked up.
Is there?
Yeah, but I think you've got a new meaning to it. Whenever someone says to me in future, I was caked up, I shall think of you with that.
Just to set the record straight, I'm not a fat knacker. It's only because it's my birthday I'm allowed. Oh, right. But we can see what comes up on screen before it comes, by the way, so I can see what they're about to put on. That's not fair. That's not fair because you did it to me the other day with the sandwich and I hadn't eaten all day, and now Illiteratum has now got that.
Who is a
that
great
me
poster on
eating-
that forum? Great
He's now
poster
got
with
that picture.
with the Simpsons avatar.
He's
Isn't
now
it?
got. Oh look! Oh, here we go again. Let's just pick on me when it's my birthday. He's
that,
got that on. He's one now. Cheeky.
That chocolate picture with the chocolate chops. I wonder if we could.
It was funny.
If I could get hold of that picture, certainly on my forum, we could put it on your forum. That picture there, wouldn't that make a nice caption competition?
Oh no. No, it would not. It's your turn now. Come on, it's stuck in.
Just a suggestion.
Well, what should we do?
Right, well,
We've got some emails.
We hadn't finished the email from Red Dog.
Do you know what? I've deleted it. Can you
Well,
do
it was what I said was very few people make money at tournaments, and Tom said, is he doomed to failure? It does take an exceptional talent to win at tournaments. And let me give you a couple of examples. I played, I think, 5 tournaments yesterday, a 250, a 200, a 100, a 100 and a 40. I had one draw, 632 bucks. I lost about 100 bucks on the day. Do that 7 days a week, you're going to lose 700 bucks, which is 400, 450 quid. That's a lot of money. I paid 750 yesterday. If I'd done that for a week and don't get a draw, I'm over $5,000 out of pocket. Tom, to my knowledge, has probably drawn in online tournaments this year close on $100,000. What I don't know is how much he spent. Be a great deal of money. And he even with that record, I asked him the other day if he was going to enter a tournament that was 250 bucks, a tournament he plays every day. He says, no, I'm running bad. I need to sort of just hold back a little while. So you have to be very careful, even if you can play the game, to recognise the swings. The other important thing which Tom does, and I recommend to anybody to do, very, very, very important this, is he picks his games. He's found out the sort of game that suits him, and he won't play anything else. And in fact, whether I've copied him or whether I've just happened at his behest to try it and it works for me, in my case and his case, freeze-outs only. Freeze-outs are different to rebuys. In rebuys, sometimes it's Billy Deep Pocket that wins because he doesn't care what hands he plays with or she plays with, just keeps raising and moving in, rebuy, 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 gambling. You play in a freeze, you're on a level playing field, you've all got the same chance. And so over a period of time, the better players will win. Doesn't suit everybody. Some people are more suited to rebuys, some people are more suited to different sort of competitions, some people sit and goes. Look around, find what suits you best, refine your game and stick to it. As to my advice earlier, that most people can't make money at tournaments, I stick to it. Very, very few can. If you can, good luck to you. Tom's an exception. Nice post. Bear in mind, you know, the other thing I'd like to say about this is I saw a post the other day by a very, very respected guy who was grinding out quite a good living in cash games online. And he made the fair point that it's hard work. It's you know, sitting there 10 hours a day online in your lounge with a computer can be hard going. And that's a way of looking at it. Look at it a different way. Would you rather be at work? Many people work and play poker, and it makes them very tired. And oh, here we go with the cake again.
I was prodding it. I wasn't eating it.
Makes them very tired. What would you rather be doing? Would you rather be playing poker, although it's a grind sometimes, or having to get up to go to work, having a boss, having working hours, and then playing poker in the evening? Poker's a lovely living, absolutely beautiful living, and we need to remember that. But it can be very, very hard work, and you've got to be dedicated.
Thank you, TK. Just quickly from Balrog, it says, morning, Michelle and TK. No questions, just pure grovelling. Well, we like it. We like it. Just to say, enjoying the show. Well played, Mish, and happy birthday. Nice devouring of the cake too. Now, I didn't live the sandwich thing down, and I'm guessing this cake thing is going to stick with me for a while.
Well, I'm sure that we'll make sure you don't forget it.
And he says,
good chap.
He says, love your style, TK. Right up my alley and makes me laugh a lot.
Thank you very much, Balrog. We've corresponded on the forum, and I've watched them play a good bit, and so that's nice to hear. Thank you.
Well, we're going to head over and watch the final table of our multi-table tournament that we've been looking at throughout the night. So let's head straight over there. Have a little giggle there.
Yeah, this one from Robert. It's about me.
Well, we'll get to that.
So, what we have is the very, very final stages of the MTT. Blinds are now 800, 1600. We have 3 players left. We have Paul 8-Ball with 40,872. We have TEMH with 53,000. And we have Jakers with 96,000. There are 197,000 chips in play. I call it 200,000 with 3 players left, 66,000 each. They're all in good shape here, really. Blinds are 800, 1600. So there's 40 big blinds is the average. So anybody can win this. They don't need to chuck all their chips in. Potentially this could go for a very, very long time. Plenty of play here. The best player should win this. Nobody is in dire straits. Look at that. 7 deuce catches a house.
7 deuce, look
That's
at that.
way to go. So TMH takes his house. This is going to be quite interesting. Remember that third place here will get $158. Second will get $254, and the winner will get $381. And clearly Jakers is in the driving seat, but it's by no means over yet.
Nope. So we've only got 3 left. I'm going to find out for you who come where, as we can watch the rest. But it's quite interesting to watch the last 3, because obviously, like you said, we started with about 127, wasn't it?
127 runners.
So we've come a long old way.
Yeah, there's 124 have gone by the wayside. These are the last 3 standing. This is a lovely position to be in, and most of us have been here once or twice. It's a nice feeling, and gets you on the edge of your seat. You really get hyped up. The adrenaline gets running, and this is why we play poker, to get down to the last 2 or 3 in a decent tournament. And don't forget, with these blinds, this is very, very playable. This could go any way, and for the newer players, what we have to avoid here is getting all our chips in. There's no need. A full raise here, a pot raise is only about 5,000. So they can play this properly. They've got raises, re-raises and re-raises in.
Look at the straight for
Paul 8-Ball has caught a straight here.
Trying to work out how much he can get out of Jakers.
Yeah, Jakers has got no hand. If Jakers had an ace in his hand, he might get paid off here, or even 2 pair. What a lovely hand for 2-3. But it was visible. You know, it's possible to predict that he had a straight there.
Yeah.
No action for TMH with Ace-4. Ace-4 is a different hand, 3-handed, clearly. But even so, you don't want to be pushing too much in because you're not beating much. Do you know any of these players?
TMH does very well.
Yep.
I've played him a few times as well. Jakers and Paul 8-Ball I haven't seen as much of.
Well, this is awkward. They both caught the king, but the ace will slow them down. In a way, the ace might save TEMH here.
Yeah.
Because it stops it getting too heavy. If the ace doesn't come, a lot of chips go in there.
7-3, not much going on here.
A walk there for Jakers.
Always nice.
When we say a walk, it's when there's no action to the small blind, and the small blind, instead of making up the big blind, just passes. There's a straight here. 2 straights, in fact. But it was never going to get too busy because they didn't really have the best straights. Pocket 7's big hand here, no action, but that's no problem.
Jakers being in the lead, the other two quite similar.
Big hand, ace 10, three-handed. So two hands here that we might see action from, King Jack and King 8. Nope, Paul 8 ball doesn't want to know. Out of position, probably wise.
Right, let's see if I've got the little information here of who come where. We didn't get to see the whole table,
Queen
just
10
the
for
last
TMH.
three. So let me tell you who ended up. 10th we had Nifsed 2, 9th we had Andio, 8th Ace Jules, 7th Pot and Pan, we were watching him earlier, weren't we? 6th Anfield James, 5th Mattel Wise, and 4th Angelo 1. So what did he get for 4th? Have you got that?
Yes, what places have you got there from 10th? 10th place was 19, 9th was 38, 8th was 51, 7th was 64, 6th was 83, 5th, which was Matty, was it?
Matty Wise,
was 101, and 4th, which was Angel, my cat, 120.
Oh, is that your cat's name? And what was the buy-in? Was it $10, I think?
The buy-in was $10.
So it's not a bad return for
Lovely.
Angel.
A lot of variance in tournaments, but when you scoop a great multiple of what you entered for. So they're grinding away here, not much change. This could go on for a fair while because it's such a good structure.
Yeah, and they've got so much play left, haven't they, as well? Okay, an ace 4 for Paul 8 ball. He's on the big blind. Now, Jakers has gone in for the kill. He's gone for the steal. But and Paul 8 ball is sort of re-raising. Oh, and he's flopped 2 pair. That's the best flop for a brag ace, obviously other than 3 hearts. But ace 3, 4, 5, we do have the gut shot for Jakers. And we've all got 5, 4, 5, 7, 8. So it's kind of a double, I'm not sure what it's called actually, like a double belly buster gut shot type thing. Well, it's the same as an up and down straight because he's got 2 cards in that gut shot. But it didn't come, and the 2 pair will take it, even though it's aces and 7s instead of aces and 4s. Well, we've got an ace and a king out. So Paul 8 ball might go for a steal here, but he chooses to fold. Doesn't want to get jiggy.
So it's levelled up now. We've got 69, 62 and 59. Will they keep showing patience?
Yeah.
And will someone start to dominate?
Are you, what are you, TK? Are you a tournament player, a cash game player?
Predominantly tournaments. I really enjoy tournaments.
Yeah.
But late at night I sit down on the couch. Most nights I sit down and have an hour or two of tend to play high-low Omaha.
Ah, yes, I remember you saying.
And I enjoy that greatly and get by, as it were. If I'm at a festival and I'm out of the tournament, which is not unknown, then I might sit down and play a little cash, and I really, really enjoy it. In cash games live, I'll play Hold'em.
Yep.
The Omaha games get rather large. Online, I can't play cash Hold'em. I find it doesn't sort of fly my kite, to be truthful with you. I don't have the patience for it. It's horses for courses. And
yeah,
late
it's
at
taste,
night,
isn't it, and what you like to play.
There's some easy money to be picked up in these high-low Omaha games. Sit there nice and quiet while you're doing something else and choose your positions carefully. There's money to be had. But my favourite form of poker is live tournaments. I absolutely love it.
Yes, I really need to start playing more live. I have done. I played in a live tournament the other day, actually, with Matt, one of our other presenters.
Where
took
was
me
that?
to. It was just at a pub. I can't remember what it was called, but it was upstairs in this pub, and it was a little thing they do each month. And there was only 2 women in the whole room, and there was lots of 10, 11-seater tournaments going on. Yes, only 2 women, and we ended up heads up on one of the tables.
Wow.
Funnily enough, and she came first, and I come second.
Well, you should get yourself out to some of the casinos and play the game. You'd have great fun. I'm sure you'd be very popular.
Yes, I do quite like it at the old table, in a live table, because it's quite funny. You can rub the old fellas up the wrong way. I think it's great.
Okay, 6, 7 and 8, 9. The Queen 8-3 takes it.
I had the 8.
And nice and even here. These players know what they're doing. I have to say, I believe these players are playing better than one would expect to see in a $10 tournament. I suspect these players tend to play in bigger tournaments normally, because they're playing to quite a good standard here, if I may say so. Certainly above what I would expect to see in a $10 tournament. They're being nice and patient. They're not panicking and lumping their chips in with ace-king, as often happens. They're playing this properly. Two nice hands here, ace-5 and king-jack. Blinds in 1,000, 2,000. And Paul Ball's caught his ace. Bets out, takes it. They both had a draw there. One had a wheel, one had a Broadway draw.
A wheel?
A wheel is, one had a draw to the wheel, which is ace 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
And one had a draw to Broadway, which is ace, king, queen, jack, 10. Broadway and the wheel. You can throw that around.
Oh, these little poker terms.
So, Jakers 8-10, top pair. You don't see too many 8-high balls, so it was enough. And he consolidates his lead, back to 87,000 now. No real pattern emerging here yet.
No, well, they've got a lot of play, haven't they?
Yep, blinds are now 1,000, 2,000. So a pot raise would be 6,000 or 7,000. And two hands here. King, Jack and Ace 8, both big hands at this stage. Quite rightly, TEM8 is re-raised, and just as I said, they're not all going all in. He has moved all in, and he gets Jakers off the better hand. Nothing wrong with the play, but it was a very, very big re-raise, and this can be dangerous because you might just walk into something. Got it again.
So how do you have to change your play when you get to this stage of a multi-table tournament?
Well, now is the time to be really aggressive. That somebody needs to start dominating at this stage and picking up the unwanted pots. Quite a difficult question for me, to be truthful, because I have a reputation which I've thoroughly earned of being a bit of a donkey at this stage of a tournament.
A donkey?
Yes, yes. In some respects.
Aww. I'm taking it donkey isn't good.
No. in most respects, no. But from what I can see, you know, you need to be pretty aggressive at this stage.
Is that what it comes down to?
It does, yeah. Certainly a lot different to play when the blinds are small and the tables are full. Short-handed play is an art in itself. Three-handed, the whole dynamic changes. And if somebody can get a chip lead and start bullying...
The hand rankings are lowered as well, aren't they?
Yep.
What you can pick to play with, it really changes when it becomes short-handed.
Correct.
Excuse me. And you have to be able to adapt.
Yeah, you have to be able to, you know, have this nerve to say, okay, you know, my pair of fours is probably good three-handed, almost
Whereas
certainly.
usually you would be really
You're
worried.
only going to get into two hands, aren't you? So what you need to do now is raise to get rid of the opposition, because you don't want to see a flop with a pair of fours, but it's almost certainly winning. If you're 10-handed and you've got a pair of fours, there is a chance, you know, a better chance of somebody having some sort of A better hand or B better drawing hand. You wouldn't want to take on an ace-king for all your chips with a pair of fours early in a tournament, would you?
No, not at all. It wouldn't even be a decision, would it, at all?
Well, there isn't a need, that's the point. There isn't a need. Well, if Jakers doesn't win this hand, it'll be a surprise. And he walks it.
Pair of sets here, pair of sevens here is going to be good, isn't it?
It is, but Jakers might take 50,000. No, he's not going to call that.
He's left himself 72.
72 chips. I think
Just in case.
Yeah, I think that's a little problem with the slider or the bet there. He didn't quite get all the chips in. He certainly wasn't going to pass for the 72.
Well, because see, it's going on for a while. Like you say, they all seem to be quite sensible and...
Yep. Talking of the 72 that Paul 8-ball left, there's a very interesting email which we'll come to a little later this evening before we go off air, about a play made earlier on by a player who left himself a very, very small amount of chips.
Yeah.
I said he was disconnected, but we'll save that till the email comes.
Okay.
But I missed a little trick there, which the poster, the emailer, has pointed out. Quite interesting.
Okay.
TMH had the aces there, but didn't get any action, and it's now taken over the lead. This is what we said earlier. The dynamic can change so much. Jakers was the chip leader. Now it's narrowly TEMH, but really nothing in it. Paul 8-ball won't be too worried with 48,000, with blinds at 1,000, 2,000. Ace King here. Paul 8-ball doesn't want to make a play at this. Well, he didn't get a chance because Jakers moved all in. We talked about they weren't lunging all in earlier. We've now seen it 3 times.
So they're listening.
Well, you know, maybe impatience is arriving. The blinds are bigger now. I have to say, I still don't think it's the right play with blinds at 1,000, 2,000 to 70,000 chips in. In most cases, you're going to get the move through and you're going to win 3,000 chips, but eventually someone's going to call you. You could find out what you need to know for a lot less.
Yeah. Oh, it's the banning. Doesn't make a move with it.
No. I'm often accused of quoting or mentioning a gentleman called Mickey Wernick. Mickey Wernick, European Player of the Year, 2005. And people say I'm forever going on about him. Well, to begin with, you know, he was the best player in 2005 in Europe under the tournament ranking system, so he's entitled to that. But he has this great ability to never waste a chip. He sizes his bets beautifully, doesn't overbet, doesn't put all his chips in except in certain circumstances, and the guy's got no hidden tricks up his sleeve. He's been playing a very, very long time. His game is exposed. Watch him and learn, because this man doesn't waste chips. And it's a lesson that's good for all of us. Don't waste chips, because you might need them later.
Now that makes sense.
So nobody's got anything here, but the dominated hand takes it by virtue of a bet. And Paul 8-ball is just starting to lose touch slightly.
Yeah, compared to the other two.
Definitely not a need to panic. I've been in worse spots with 3 left. And, well, come third, to be honest with you. But the point I'm making is you don't need to panic at this stage, even with 34,000, third of 3. Plenty of time. 1 double up, chip leader.
Yeah. So it's not always lost at the moment at all for Paul 8-ball.
No, sometimes
Quite
you have to
easily
show.
come back.
We've said aggression is important, but sometimes you have to show, you know, huge patience. And I played in the tournament yesterday. I couldn't pick a thing up, and I just had to sit and wait and wait and wait. And I had no chips, next to no chips, with 20 players left. Oh, it's a straight here.
But then if you don't have anything and you sit there patiently, you can have some fold equity.
I got no position, no situations to move my chips in, and no hands to play with. But you know, gradually I just found the odd spot. People perished. People fell by the wayside, and the ladder came to my rescue. Sometimes patience pays.
Mm-hmm.
But I doubt if many young players would say that. Pretty looking hand there, 10-9 suited. Nice flop for it, but. TMH has got nothing to defend with, so Paul 8-ball takes that down, doesn't get the action he wishes. Sometimes in that situation he might have been better trapping, because he's gonna need some chips soon.
But then if he doesn't hit the flush, he could end up losing.
He could. I mean, he's not to know that TMH has no hand, but moving all in, TMH needs a big hand to call.
Mm-hmm.
So perhaps a little enticing bet might have got one more card. Give him a free card. You can always get off the hand. You can always pass if need be.
Mm-hmm.
But what he done there is he won the blinds effectively, whereas by for a small investment, we could have seen one more card, might have got paid.
Now he's got a pair of 4s.
Yeah, all in. Well, you know, it's one of those situations you only gets called by a better hand there.
Yeah.
But difficult to know how else to play that. All TMH has got the ladies now. Let's hope Paul 8 Ball doesn't do anything silly.
Nope.
Jacobs has moved back to a nice lead with 89,000. They're playing this really well, I think.
There you go, boys. You've been told by the expert.
Well, that's your description. That's in inverted commas. Well, look at this. 7-6 against 6-4. They both got an up and down. They both missed it. But TMH, with the slightly better starting hand, has in fact got a pair. I don't feel Paul 8 Ball has done anything wrong. It's just the way the cards have fallen. When they've had a hand, there's not have action.
Yeah.
But he's playing a bit dangerous now.
Oh,
He's starting
he's gone all in with the
We
banning.
talked about this earlier about lunging, the fact that there's enough chips in play not to lunge, and Paul 8 Ball is now starting to lunge regularly. Eventually, there's going to be a coming together, and it could end in tears. But it's a mistake. Well, if it's a mistake, it's perhaps wrong for me to say that, but to move all in at this stage is something we often do at this stage. We get a little bit panicky, a little bit excited. But with blinds at 1-2, there isn't a need, in my opinion. How's that for a straight draw? 6, 7, 8, 9.
Not much going on at all for the
Paul 8
10
Ball does
too.
not want to catch his 10 here. If Paul 8 Ball catches a 10, it could be all over for him, because it will give the straight to Jakers. Fortunately, he misses it.
Nope. Well, is that Paul 8 Ball winning? Yeah, with the high card 10. With the king.
Well, if he hit his 10, he was dead. Pretty hand on the button for Jakers. Catches second pair. Doesn't look much a pair of sevens, but it's second pair. And we've seen already that Jakers doesn't leave unwanted pots laying there. If the pot's there to be taken, takes it. Paul 8 Ball now getting back into the game with 47,000.
Slowly creeping up, isn't he?
Yep. Well, there's 2 people with Queen 9.
Both suited. Clubs and hearts.
Well, they both picked up a gut shot.
Ooh.
They both got second pair.
Oh, look. Paul 8 Ball managed to push 10 each off that.
For 2,000. How extraordinary.
2,000.
How extraordinary. Again, first to bet sometimes takes the pot.
And now he's got jacks.
How's he going to play these jacks?
Well, he's not going to get any action, I can't imagine, from 10.
I'd be tempted, well, there we go, all in. To all intents and purposes, all in. Put 40,000 out of 42,000.
Well, like you said, there's a lot of play to be had here, isn't there?
Well, for all his lunging, or her lunging, up to 53,000 now.
King Jack. This stage of the game, nice hand to be raising with, isn't it?
Yep.
Jacobs just went for the limp and then the bet on the flop. 5-6, another connecting hand for Paul 8 Ball here. Blinds have just gone up slightly to 1,500, 3,000. Ace 8 probably be good enough for a bet at this stage from Paul. Yep, and that'll be enough.
It's surprising that raise from blinds from 1,000, 2,000 to 1,500, 3,000.
At this stage, you would think it'd be 2-4, wouldn't you?
Well, the thing is, that is quite a jump in a way, because a pot size raise is now 10,000 and a re-raise is now pretty much all in.
Yeah.
So that change, 50% I suppose it is really, does make a difference, there's no doubt about it.
As Jakers and Tem H change swap places in the leaderboard rankings.
They've jostled throughout, and
Jacks
look at
again
this,
for Paul
against
8
Queen
Ball.
10. I fancy the TMH. Well, you see, you're not going to get action with Jacks if you move all in against Queen 10. It's easy to see when we can see the cards.
I suppose with Jack sometimes.
But what he's relying on is someone calling him, and someone's only going to call him with a very big hand.
Well, mate, is he maybe worried because if they're sitting there with kings or queens?
He's got top pair here against 2 pair. Now, if he does the all-in trick here, now will he just call or will he move all in, Jakers?
All in.
Moves all in.
Oh, and we've had a call, and that's the end of Pool 8 ball.
Well, I'm sorry about that, and I really don't want to say I told you so, but this moving all in is.
What did he win?
Well, he's got 3rd place. He's got $158, but when you keep moving all in, eventually you're going to get caught, and one could see that one coming.
So he didn't need to be making those all-in moves.
Well, you know, he's got ace-3. He's not beating a great deal on ace-high flop, is it? He's losing to most aces.
Yep.
He had to walk into 2 pair, and got called this time. Yeah. Good game though, well played. Beat 124 others, 125 others.
Yeah, you did well. You made yourself a little bit of money there as well. TEMH is now on 105,000 and Jakers is on 75.
Okay, so it says two-handed. Lines are still 1,500, 3,000, and still fairly level. 2 pairs for TEMH. Nothing for Jakers. And now taking a significant lead, has got double the chips of Jakers. And it's quite often when it gets heads up, the chips do get all in, quite a lot. Oh, flush for TEMH, but no real hand to defend for Jakers. If you had something there, it might have got interesting. A very good friend of mine gave me some advice. I kept losing heads-up matches and still do, but when you've got a chip lead such as TEMH is here, and you think you can outplay the other player, there's no need for the pots to get big. You can keep them small. It's up to you to dictate what pot size you play with. If you want to keep the pots small, keep them small. Keep out of the way. If you've got double the chips of the other guy, you haven't got any need to gamble. You haven't got any need to put all your chips in. If you think you can outplay them, keep them pots small. And the gentleman that told me that was a certain Mr. Bradley, at it gambler, at it Bradley. And very, very logical advice when he plays a lot of heads up. I don't. But if you've got the chip lead, dictate the pot size. You don't have a need to double up. The other guy does, so he's going to try and get all the chips in and gamble. Mm-hmm. You can afford to wait for your right spot. So it's turned around now. Jakers on 112,000, TMH on 74. I have a feeling this might not last too much longer. I think a collision of 2 hands will occur at some stage. Moving along at a rapid rate.
Queen Jack takes it down.
Just as well, because TMH was dominated. I think these two, from what we've seen, of necessity, we can't see the whole tournament, but from what we see at the final table, you know, these two probably deserve to be the last 2 standing. Of course, what we haven't seen is the hard luck stories and bad beats, which go in every tournament. They've been plentiful, no doubt. There was an up and down draw there for TMH, which missed. Queen High was good for Jakers in the end. Well, 5-4 against 2-5 is rarely going to induce too much in the way of action.
I quite like that purple, you know, now. I've got
you said you didn't like it tonight.
At the beginning, I really like it now. I think it's very pretty.
You're fickle.
I am fickle and very easily led.
Well, we won't go there, but you're definitely fickle.
I need to get a little cartoon character of me and you, TK, in the corners.
Earlier on, you said I was quite old. Have you, being fickle, would you now say...
I think you're as young as the day is long.
An absolute diplomat there. That was you dug yourself out. That was really, really nice. You're as young as the day is long. Yeah,
I have no idea what it means.
Yeah, you didn't want to all in, you see.
Oh,
I thought that was going to start happening. And that's what it, you know, the guy who's behind, or the lady that's behind, is looking for the easy route to doubling up, which is move all the chips in and get called. The guy with a stack doesn't need to do that, so he keeps the pot small.
Yep.
And when we joined it, Yakers was leading. He's been up and down a little, but for most of the tournament he's led, for most of the final table.
TMH does so well in these. He's generally up there on the last table,
Really?
you know. Yeah, I've really seen him up there. Definitely a strategy to be had. Doing something right.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh, 9, 10, Jack, Queen, up and down, and a pair.
Well, no, there's a straight here.
6, 7, 8,
What's
9. Is there? Yeah, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nice.
TMH is called a straight. How can he get paid here?
No, he doesn't.
Nice straight. It was a hidden straight, an inside straight. It was hard to put him on that.
Mm-hmm.
But they were both drawing to a straight, so it could have got very interesting. TMH was a small ace there, but didn't find the action I was hoping for. Nice structure this, it's got to be said.
Yeah.
Nice structure. It's surprising really there's only 2 players left given how playable it is. You'd think there'd be more players left in this.
Well, if we see 2 big hands, I think we could see it all happen.
Yes, we could see it coming together, so to speak.
Don't think this is going to be it.
Nope. Nope.
Heads up. It's good to watch heads up though. It's good to. It's a completely different game from your full table, so it is something you need to do every now and then, isn't it?
Correct. It's good to get and practice heads up. You can practice on play money. You can practice for any stake you want. 25 cents, 50 cents, $1, $10. A lot of money. Gut shot straight here and top pair for TMH. Gut shot straight for Jakers as well. And they're just about levelling chips here, I think. They certainly are. They keep picking up big hands, but not at the same time.
No, we need them to clash. Come on. A couple of big aces for you both, please. So the small blind is not on the button. The big blind is the button. Is that how it usually works?
The button here is the big blind. Last out before the flop, first after. Or did I get that back to front? 7, 8. And a straight draw. Moved all in with a straight draw. This could be the hand. Does Jakers think that...
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Look at that. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Got a straight.
Well, there was the clash. Both had a piece of it. Now Jakers is going to start pushing.
Yeah.
Pushes with 9-4.
Takes it.
I wonder if he can fight back here. It was a little unfortunate that.
That was.
Well, TMH won't pass this hand.
Jacob's having a think. 10 with the ace to queen. So second place here is...
Second place is $254.
Yeah.
And first place is $381. So they're actually playing for a difference of $127.
So quite a lot for their $10 buy-in.
Yep. Jakers is hanging in here. But
He wants a double through, doesn't he?
yeah, he's going to make a move at some stage, and TMH is going to call him.
Right. Puts it down.
Yeah, blinds are now 2,000, 4,000, and so it's 6,000 a round, but a round is only 2 hands, so it's costing 3,000 a hand. Yeah, and he's got 24,000 chips, so he's got 8 hands before he gets blinded away. So if something doesn't give, something's going to give.
5-2 is not getting anything,
No,
Jacobs.
it's not the hand that he's looking for. He's down to 18,000 now, and he shows his queens. Look what I've got. I raise with good hands.
How do you know he showed?
Well, he showed the queen. I think he showed the queens to come up afterwards. Oh, there's a straight here for Jacobs.
Wow, needed that.
He got his double up just in the nick of time.
Needs another one.
Wonder if he'll make a move here with his queen 5. Oh, he lets go. Good judgment. But you see how quickly his chips start to go down again. He needs to find something.
Needs a little bit of lucky here.
Both playing very well, and he's got himself into a hole. Probably moved with his pair of 3s and could well get called. Yes.
Yeah. 9 is a bit.
Needs a 3. He actually called a flush, but it wasn't enough. The queen flush won it in the end. The 9 was already there. Absolutely terrific performance by TEMH. Very, very unlucky Jakers. Great play by both of them. Very, very well played. Very enjoyable. Good structure. Very fun.
Yeah, good. Excellent. Well done, guys. Okay, we have an email from Robert. Morning, Robert. He says,
Robert.
Please help a friend of mine. He is always seeming to go out of a comp on the bubble, and I believe he is getting frustrated. Even more frustrated than usual, but that's another story. Should I suggest any of the following? 1. He is unlucky and it's all variance, and one day he may even make the money. 2. He is simply not up to the modern game and might as well give up. 3. He should stick to the play money tables. P.S. Happy birthday to the pretty blonde. Thank you, it's Michelle.
Well, he
Tikay.
may in fact be talking to me.
He's not.
It's my
Is that
birth-
you?
It's my birthday today, so when he says happy birthday...
Is it your
to the-
birthday today, though? Or are you lying?
Would I lie?
Yes.
Well, I think this is from our estate agent friend, Robert H.M. Spelt believe wrong, that's the clue. Not much good, not much of a spellsmith is Robert.
Did.
He's noticed that. He's actually a sheepsmith. He specialises, he's a sheep breeder.
Really?
Yeah, he's actually a friend of mine, and he's suggesting... I actually made the bubble 6 times in 24 hours the day before yesterday, and 6 of the times I bubbled.
Really?
And so it's just sticking it up, TK.
I think I'm going to go with number 2. He's simply not up to the modern game.
We had a tournament the night before last, and he won it. And it's the first ever tournament he's ever won.
Oh,
There
well
was
done, Robert.
30 odd runners. He's 58, 59 years of age. He'd never won a tournament before. So to be serious,
He's
that's a
59 and he's not won a tournament before.
well, he's not very good. To be honest with you. Lovely man.
That'll teach you. Don't be picking on our TK.
Quite right too. Michelle will stick up for me.
Yep, I will. He's a good player. He knows a good player when he sees one.
One here from 24 Ginger, who played earlier on.
Yes, he did.
Where did you get that dark lipstick you were wearing before midnight? Well, it's my normal... Oh no, that's for you. Sorry, that's for you, Michelle.
This is a special new lipstick
Was that
I've
chocolate
acquired.
lipstick?
Yeah. It's very tasty and it helps when you get a bit peckish.
It says look sexy. I hadn't...
Oh, there it is. Do you know what? That's going to come up every
I
night.
really do think
We're
there
all
should
bored
be
of
a
it already.
caption competition there.
They're all me though.
I hadn't noticed it.
There's
looked
one with
sexy.
Nick with the hand. That's quite funny.
Talks about the victory dance. Can we see that victory dance again, please?
There's
Oh, I don't know what to talk about.
Shall I read this one from Ginge?
Well, we'd like to see that victory dance, I think.
What, again?
Yes,
I've
please.
done it already.
No, but a lot of people missed it. I've had a few phone calls saying they missed it. Come on, give me us a victory dance.
Okay, so I'll sort of come like that. And then it goes.
That's the bit I like.
That's the round bit, and then there's kind of a little...
Yeah, we saw that at the break.
You can't
I'm
really
afraid-
get that
I'm
bit.
I'm afraid you were spared that.
Shall I read this from Ginge?
Yeah, go on.
He says, about time you showed a sit and go game where I won for a change. Dr. Tom usually shows the games where I come second. I've done the victory dance as you do. Well done. During the game, TK was talking about Tesnak's fold to leave him with 30 chips. He wasn't disconnected as he was taking his time to fold, but I think he had a touch on.
Yeah, I think what I missed here, I actually thought they were disconnected, but what I missed here was what Tesnak was doing, was hoping someone else would bubble, hoping someone else would bust out, and therefore they would move up a place. A legitimate tactic. They had 30 chips and the blinds were 200, 400 or 400, 800. And so what they was hoping to do there was see someone else bust out. It's a bit of a grim tactic, but you know, I can see what they were doing now. So I'm sorry I got that one wrong.
He says, but not only that, while I was busy winning the game, birthday girl Michelle sat on a table where I was just waiting for a game. So for the first time, I've been shown twice. Cool. He says, I've been thinking, Michelle, what are you doing a bank holiday Monday evening? No, I'm not asking you out, but it would be nice if a presenter would play in the Poker Night Live members multi-table tournament. Rumour has it you're already attached anyway. I'm working on it.
Well, yes, I've seen the email.
You saw me email.
Yes,
it's 21st century, TK. We're supposed to be able to ask people out, especially when they're...
I can't take you where we've been tonight. I tell you about asking people out.
He says, and if I'm not, I am working that day, but hopefully in the evening, if I get back in time, I will play in it. He says, please let TK know I'm not Jane or Jade. Couldn't quite catch what he said. Would like to let you know who I am, but I've been keeping the players on the $2 and $5 sit and goes guessing for ages. Catch her at the tables, and P.S. if you have any cake left, please send it to me.
I just wondered if Jane, I think it was called Ginger, wasn't it? Was the name?
24 Ginger,
I know a Ginger that masquerades as Jane, and she's a lovely lady. Has the misfortune to be connected to a gentleman called Royal Flush, and I wondered if it's the same young lady. Clearly it's not. Doesn't even tell us if it's a young lady or not. I suspect, in fact, it's a gentleman.
Could be, because lots of people do that, trying to pretend to be a female when they're actually male.
This person says you looked sexy, and what are you doing bank holiday evening? So,
so I've pulled. Well, hey,
again.
Wonders of live television. I've got my flowers. Look,
yep,
there, which were lovely.
And the flowers from me, and the drink from me.
Yes, you've got it in your top pocket.
And the cake, and the cake.
Which I haven't eaten because I was a bit full. There it is. You said you made that. You were lying, weren't you? You bought it from the shop?
No, absolutely not. I just thought you deserved a muffin. That's for you
much.
Special. I have to say, before we do the wrap up, thank you very much to everybody. It's been a really, really surreal evening for me.
Has it?
I've never done anything like this before. We've been sitting here with chocolate cake all over the place and people doing victory dances. I was a little worried about working with Michelle because I was nervous, hadn't worked with her before. Did you
think I'd be boring?
No, not at all, not at all. But
do you think I'd be ditzy?
Yeah, I mean, I've really been broken in tonight. To be honest with you, you are something else. You really are. They don't make too many like you, do they?
They don't. So appreciate it.
I have to say,
Casper and Nick.
If I may say so, a little secret I will share with the viewers here. 37 years of age, not bad, eh?
Oh, just had an easy life.
Me too.
37, the cheek of it. 27, don't look a day over 21.
You look pretty good to me.
Well, that is all we've got time for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a wonderful evening. It's been really good working with you, TK. I know it's the first time we've worked together. I've really enjoyed myself. Thank you for making my birthday so enjoyable.
You've probably ruined my TV career
I
this evening.
probably have. He actually is worried he's going to get fired. But I didn't put the chocolate cake in your face. I would have done if it was Cass or Nick or Tom or James or Mark. But that is all we've got for time for tonight. Do make sure you join us tomorrow night at 10 p.m. We'll have Beat the Presenter as well and all the great poker stuff going on. Again, thanks to TK. Thank you for watching. And that's it. Good night and goodbye.